Right, hello everyone. This is another Team GB London calling match against the Spanish team of La Roja. So yeah, we'll just get stuck in. So it's +2 random. We're unlikely to take all 6 hours on the clock, I hope. But you know, these are just for fun anyway. So we'll see how they go. We're recording for YouTube and we're streaming on a 20-minute delay. And I will let Jimmy say hello now.
Hello.
So you can hear both of us, which is a triumph in technology on my side. Um, I can't always get this right. So, right, we'll accept the invite and we'll get started. Let's see what side we are. We are USA. And we don't get a too shabby opening hand. I do like being dealt multiple 4-op cards in the first hand. So let's put that into our trackers. So we've got Budge and NATO. We've got Europe scoring. Do you think we should try and press for Europe scoring given that we have so many 4-op cards and we can defect a bad headline? Is that cause to push for Europe?
Yeah, possibly.
We can't get socialist governments. So the worst case scenario is to gall, duck, and cover, isn't it?
Yeah. We could always red scare, maybe.
We could purge if we want to be very aggressive. I guess if we're doing that, I'd like to hold defectors through the turn just so they know they can't have a free turn 2 headline.
And because we haven't got... What does that gain us? That would gain us 1, 2, 3, 4. It cost us 4 ops. Well, no, sorry. It would cost us 4 ops.
But we'd gain it on their influence placement, yeah.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
Whereas defectors is likely to be a net ops gain because we're using a 2-op card to counteract. Well, worst case scenario, it's NASA, which is 2 ops. Should we go 4-4-2?
Yeah, I think 4-4-2.
Especially
if we're considering Europe.
Cool, 4-4-2. If we were defecting the headline, we could gamble on 4-3-3 with defectors, but that's still chancy.
I feel like...
Happy with that?
Yeah,
I'll
happy
commit
with that.
Cool.
I feel like a kind of aggressive red scare purge, and that cuts the coup
anyway
to a 3.
So worst case scenario, they socialist governments and coup us with a weaker op.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So for the benefit of those listening and on the stream, we have decided to opt for a more aggressive style than our concern was with the first game that we were too consultative, and that lends to the middle ground. So we're gonna be slightly more brash here, just to make sure if what we're doing is taking the average of 6 and 1, we sometimes are on the heavy side. So, all right. So we'll headline purge. That's done. Ouch. Well, at least DEFCON doesn't drop. So worst case scenario, they put it in France and we can realign them. Duck and cover. If they've got duck and cover, we've got a problem. Cambridge 5, we've purged.
Duck and cover's only worth 2 now.
Yeah, so they can put 1 in France and then 2 with duck and cover.
Sorry, Cambridge, yeah.
In which case we can drop Europe scoring for -1, I guess, before domination.
Yeah.
I don't think this is as big a disaster as it potentially could be, thanks to having purged them. So well done for pressing the case. Now, I don't know about you, but I use a Cambridge 5 headline as a tell that they don't have a scoring card themselves. Oh, look at that. Whistled for the wind and got out.
Okay, well, there's a VP at least.
Should we drop it now, as we're not going to get domination now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Get the surprises out of the way. Yeah, so anyway, sorry. I usually take headline Cambridge 5 to be that they don't have a scoring card themselves because they're like, I want to know the direction of my hand. A USSR player with a scoring card usually goes for another headline, unless they've got nothing else to headline. So I don't know how strong a tell it is. So we'll now get the last coup if they take a coup on Iran, because they've dropped DEFCON 1.
So I think they probably haven't got Suez. I'd have thought Suez beats Cambridge.
Yeah, because then you can try and clear out the Middle East.
Yeah.
They don't have de Gaulle because they could have just done de Gaulle, duck and cover anyway. Although maybe they were worried about defectors. So anyway, looking at our plan for the hand, I quite like to hold defectors if we can through the turn.
Yeah.
So maybe
Hold NORAD.
space
Hold
Korean War
NORAD to.
for blockade. Yeah. So space Korean War and try and get Arab-Israeli war off without running the risk of losing Israel if we're spacing Korea. If we're going to hold defectors. Now, obviously, the plan for the turn might change, but I like defectors as our hold card best.
Yeah, but so NORAD's got to be the last AR.
Yes, it does, to protect against blockade.
Okay.
So yeah, counter coup with NATO if he does coup. They do coup. Sorry, there's multiples. Space
Given
Korea.
that he's possibly ops poor, is it maybe worth playing career and
Gambling on the 50-50. I like it. Sassy.
And then we can space.
You're right. It's not something.
Israeli.
Yeah, for sure. It's not something I regularly do, but I agree. While they're purged, it's a good opportunity. If this is their first game, they'll take plenty of time to talk, presumably, because we know what our first game was like. There was plenty of debate. So yeah, I agree. While they're notably ops poor by virtue of their headline, i.e. being purged, we can take the gamble on Korea. Because if the gamble fails, we're no worse off than we were before, apart from having handed them some Milops and VP. But it's not going to happen again. And they have to use the China card, right? Yeah, they'd have to use the China cards to take South Korea, because they can still do that for 4 ops under purge.
Yeah.
So if the Korean War fails, we put 2 in, they have to use the China card to take it, which nets us the China card.
Yeah,
and that's certainly not shabby. Yeah, that's not too shabby, given the circumstances.
I mean, also, if we've got the China card in the early one, then we've got 2 China cards versus the one that they've got. So we should. Hello.
Still there. Yep. Yeah. So they've played into South Korea. So now we have a slightly trickier situation. Although all the neutral 4-op cards are gone. So if we event Korean War and it fails and we go to 2-2, they have to use the China card or US Japan or Marshall Plan to take it.
Yeah.
So is that still a worthy gamble, do you think?
I think so.
We're going to be aggressive. And then if the Korean War is successful, we go to 3-1 and they can't even take it with the China card.
Does that, so just on the off chance that he's holding Asia.
That doesn't give domination.
No. But he could then, or they, he could fill up Afghanistan. We'd end up having to, we could coup maybe, or.
So the other option is we use NATO to put 2 in Pakistan and 1 in Malaysia. But DEFCON is at 4, so they'll still get a coup on Pakistan, even if they want to use the China card for that. So, much of a muchness.
Or use NATO to fill up South Korea and then go to space with Korean War.
Which then means eventing Arab-Israeli. Which we've got time to do stuff around here, but DEFCON's still quite high, so we can't play into Lebanon.
No.
So yeah, it's a choice. It's a choice between which of these 2 cards is the worst card to play. Certainly, I mean we're not disputing that fact. So the question is, do we want to yet, or do we use a neutral card like Olympic Games to do something like take Pakistan, move into Malaysia, take Lebanon to threaten? Or no, we're threatening Middle East domination, but they know we're not holding it, so that's not particularly useful. And we also want to watch out for the risk of getting realigned out of Iran, because as they play into Afghanistan and Iraq, albeit slowly because they're purged, there's a risk of that. My concern is if we use NATO to take Korea, then space Korean War, if they do have a coup, we're then having to coup with a 2-op card, whereas holding NATO in case we get a strong coup may make all the difference.
Yeah. Should we get Korea?
You want to get Korea out the deck?
I don't know. It's a higher risk.
It's definitely it is a high risk. What are the alternatives? 2 into Egypt with Olympic Games to then put 2 into Jordan with Arab-Israeli war. But we may miss the boat on Korea, although we can then space it.
Well, I think they look like they're playing for Korea, don't they? So I think if we leave it another action round, we're not going to get Korea because they'll probably fill it up.
In order to do that, they need to use US Japan, Marshall
Yeah.
or the China card. So I still think
Yeah.
they're paying a high price to take Korea.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they've got
Asia scoring?
US, Japan, or Asia scoring.
Yeah, so they may still have headlined Cambridge 5 if they had Asia scoring but didn't have Vietnam revolts, right?
So the other thing is, if we don't think that they have another 4-op, we could force them to. We could possibly play Korean War, and then if we then fill it up to, if we lose,
It goes 2-2.
We could then fill it up to 2-2.
And they still need to use the China card or a 4-op card to take it. So at DEFCON 4, I reckon the play is either do something in Korea or move into Egypt with a neutral card to set up playing Arab-Israeli safer.
Yeah, I think go Korea.
With Korea, event and...
Yeah, I think so.
Event and gamble?
It's not. It's more aggressive, isn't it?
It's very aggressive. Let's see if a 50-50 fails. It doesn't. Well, there we go. All that talk and the dice side with us. Love it when the dice are with us. So now they can't even take it with the China card.
Nice. One thing to think about for the end of the turn is if we're playing NORAD as our last card, breaking France and hoping for Truman.
That's right. Although we have to avoid socialist governments, Suez and de Gaulle in the headline. Yeah. Although we can, of course, defect it, but then they can repair it. So yes, we would need to be dealt Truman, Suez, de Gaulle and socialist governments to make that gambit a good one. So we might want, if we don't see Truman in turn 1 or 2, to do it turn 3, although they'll be ready for it in turn 3. So I'm not sure we're going to get a great opportunity. I mean, what we might want to do... I don't disagree, actually. With 2 ops going into NORAD, we might just want a Hail Mary on it.
Yeah, but also if we're defecting the headline, that will then quite possibly give them a choice
between refilling France or giving us the coup. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. That's another useful thing to bear in mind. Not that we've
got anywhere to coup at the moment, but you know.
No, bloody Iraq is the worst. I don't like false coupping Iraq. I used to do it way more, and I feel like, although of course, another thing to bear in mind is, although we'd be giving up some mil-ops, now we're spacing Arab-Israeli war. If for some reason they don't coup the rest of the term, we could give up 2 mil-ops and get DEFCON up to 5, and then we could do something like realign France. Potentially. So there's other things to think about.
It's getting quite exotic.
Very exotic. But we might as well make it interesting for people. Although we don't know if anyone's going to watch yet, because it's still 6 minutes or 7 minutes until the stream starts. So they've already switched back off. Do you know if their side's recording as well?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Cool. Oh well. It's always nice to see the other side of the board.
I think they might have Pedro online.
Cool. Okay.
Because he said we're ready.
Excellent. Oh, so they may actually have commentating. Action Round 0 might broadcast.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's cool. Get to embarrass ourselves on 2 Twitch streams at once.
Yeah, I'm going to ask, are you guys recording?
Yeah, and then follow up with something like, because we're going to play some awesome moves if you tell us we are.
Yeah.
Got to win the mind game.
Ask them what their Twitch stream is.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we just have to play, we just have to play between their Latin hours.
Yeah.
That's how it works, isn't it?
For sure. Your audio is a tiny bit laggy. I don't think there's a lot that can be done. I think it's just the way it's coming through Discord. But you are intelligible.
I think that's a bonus.
It is. I'll let you know if I don't hear something.
How? How will you know?
Well, because the stream doesn't drop entirely. It just sounds like you're talking in a tin bucket.
I am.
That's right. So that's why. Oh, my bad. There I was thinking it was internet. It's just you're in the bucket room.
Yep.
Okay, so they're thinking, well, we've lost Korea now.
I haven't seen their move yet.
I'm trying to think what they're doing. Right. So if they.
Oh, so you haven't.
They're thinking.
Because I think you get their moves. About 5 seconds ahead of them.
Yeah, it hasn't changed yet. So they're obviously thinking the best case scenario for them is they can jam the China card into it and make it 5-3. So we can't take it with a 4-op card, but we can near as damn it take it with a 4-op card.
Yeah,
And we've gained the China card. So I think they're probably going to renounce South Korea now and
I
move on
think
to
so. I
something
think.
else.
Hmm.
I suppose what we want to do, depending on if they play in Asia, if they do something like Pakistan or Afghanistan, I guess we want to move into Malaysia to be able to take Thailand, just to
Yep.
make sure we can level up battlegrounds. So the next play is likely to be something like take South Korea, move into Malaysia, depending on what they do.
Yeah.
And of course, at some point we want to try spacing Arab-Israeli. Oh, they got Truman
Oh, here
Doctrine.
comes Truman.
Abu.
Rubbish.
They get a result with
Oh.
Truman, for sure. So we will remove Yugoslavia, although they have adjacency anyway, or do we keep Yugoslavia for independent Reds and punt Finland?
I think because they've got France, I think remove Yugoslavia to prevent them getting Greece at some point.
Yep. Okay, so now we're not going to get a coup unless we coup Iraq with a 2-op card. So that's option 1. Option 2 is finish taking South Korea and move into Malaysia, because if they have D-style, they have to struggle to take Thailand. I really think we should move into Malaysia this turn, really.
Yeah.
Even though the coup
also,
is more
I think
attractive.
I think getting South Korea as well.
So with Olympic Games, 1 Malaysia, 1 South Korea?
Or even, do we use NATO and make sure that we've got something next door to Iraq? Sorry, Iran.
DEFCON's 3, actually, you're right. So we could go 2 Pakistan, 1 South Korea, 1 Malaysia. And now we dominate Asia. They can't flip Pakistan
purged
with the China card. DEFCON's 3. So their best hope is coup Iran and then get a 50-50 on Pakistan.
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
Like it?
We can into India before they do that, I'd hope.
Hopefully, yes. Although, of course, if they coup Iran successfully, then next action round they can event Indo-Pakistani war before we finish taking India. Although we can get influence in, you're right. Worst case scenario this turn, I guess, is that they've got D-style and they take Thailand. So shall I commit that? NATO,
go for it.
4 in, 2 into Pakistan, 1 Malaysia, take South Korea.
Nice and aggressive, gives Asia domination.
It does indeed. You're right. Okay, I will commit that. Boom. 'Tis done. 3 minutes until the stream starts.
So, jobs for us to do. We'll need to overprotect. We'll grab some mid-ops, go to space, overprotect Pakistan.
Yeah. So we won't get Milops unless they don't coup this turn. And again, we're still only getting them by coupping Iraq. So I think we may have to write off the Milop gambit this turn. But I still agree getting to space first is good, where possible. So spacing Arab-Israeli is definitely a good objective. If they do coup Iran, regardless of success, I assume we want to play into Lebanon to maintain presence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're getting laggier.
I'm just thinking more.
Oh, I see, right. Yeah, the cogs are turning.
Yeah.
But yes, AR6, we definitely want to overprotect Pakistan.
Yeah. Or possibly before AR6.
Yeah. So we can do something else.
A bit wiggle. Although Nor will have the extra op there.
We will. Yeah, unless they blockade us, of course.
Yeah. In which case we're playing defectors as well, aren't we?
Yeah. So what do we like to see here? We're likely to see either an Iran coup, D-style or D-col to get into Thailand, or they'll space. But I don't think they'll space under Purge, because there aren't that many 3-op cards that they dislike.
Yeah, I have a feeling they'll be holding US payment because of the way that they went for South Korea first.
They may well be, yes. In which case, they'll probably want to hold that. But they may, you're right, sorry, they may want to space it. Yeah.
Well, they possibly might be thinking about if they they might be thinking whether they go early, before it's got to do, and spread to get to Thailand.
They might go where early? Sorry, you dropped out. Between
Sorry, I
go and
was saying
early.
if they've got decod or de waiting that rather than waiting to, and then they can spread at will, that they're weighing up, will they have a go at Thailand with one of those?
Yeah, because of course, if they play just one into Thailand, we can't take it safely without putting ourselves at risk of blockade. They don't know that, but yeah, even one in Thailand does us a little bit of difficulty. All right, the stream is going 42 seconds in. So, although anyone who's listening to me say that has already been on for 20 minutes, so that's confusing. But it has just launched for us. We are speaking to them from the future.
That's quite bizarre. I just finished a book on time. It's more than I can handle, and stay sane.
So, do we at some point want to take Portugal? Because having lost Truman, our best hope for getting France back is tear down this wall in late war.
Yeah.
So, getting as many regions around France as possible as quickly as possible. Although I suppose Algeria is more attractive than Portugal because it's also a battleground.
Yeah. Although I think it may well come down to a foot race in Europe.
It will indeed, yeah. So taking Portugal to deny domination is not shabby.
just puts us on the right side of that because we're 3-3 at the moment.
There we go. Is it all going to go into Asia because DEFCON is, or is it going to go into Chile? And so do we take a coup on Venezuela? If we don't now, we're not going to. DEFCON's 2. We get our mill-ops. We get to target a battleground. What do you think?
Sorry, just muting me and say goodnight to my son.
Oh yeah, fine.
So mill-ops are worth 2, 3, potentially 3 VPs.
Yeah, and there's the chance to clean out the battleground.
Yeah.
I feel like the coup on Venezuela is probably most attractive here because we can't really do anything about Thailand. We're 2-2 on battlegrounds right now anyway, so Asia's neutral.
Yeah, I think so.
And we protect Iran against Indo-Pakistani war.
Let's coup Venezuela.
Okay, Olympic Games?
Yeah, I think so.
So we're looking for a 3 or higher, really.
Yeah.
A 3. So we don't get in, but they've lost access, which is fairly good. We now know
that's quite healthy,
the only way they're getting into Venezuela in early war is if they walk into Uruguay.
Yeah. Okay.
It could be worse. Could certainly be worse. So now
comes Asia scoring.
Asia scoring. I mean, if they drop Asia scoring, we space, right, to get ahead in space first.
I think that they would have played Asia scoring by now.
What about our AR6? If we don't get blockaded and we have 3 ops.
Pakistan.
Yep. And then 2 in Portugal, or is that boring with so many battlegrounds still to take on the map?
Well, what about? Oops, sorry.
That's right.
I'm typing on the wrong keyboard. How about either Egypt or Lebanon, and just kind of spread?
Yep, I like Egypt. Two protects against NASA.
It also protects Iran.
Yep.
They can only coup one or the other.
One or the other, that's right. Okay, so with our 3 ops, we go 1 Pakistan, 2 Egypt. Okay, so next question, what if we get blockaded? 1 in Pakistan and 1 where? Lebanon, because Egypt is Nasserable with 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Lots to consider.
I think we've got we've also got South Korea is now overprotected
It is.
because they overprotected it for us, so we
Oh,
don't have to worry too much about that.
that's good news. Yeah, sorry, they went Finland. They took one out of East Germany. It's a shame
Yeah,
Truman's gone. But yeah,
yeah.
they basically Eastern European unrest does a lot of damage. But
Mm.
Warsaw Pact's not out yet, so and Comic Con, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Over eager.
It's not a terrible board state at the moment.
I think we got lucky with D-Style in a way because they had to invest it so much in Thailand.
Mm.
Like in terms of if we can get Decol in the early war, we're in great shape. If they get Decol, then they can do something about Africa. But otherwise, yeah, no, we're fairly happy.
The thing is, I think, I mean, there's a degree of luck there, but without blowing our trumpets, I think it's a consequence of having played slightly more aggressively because we had that domination in Asia. They had to do something about it. They couldn't leave it.
That's right.
Uh,
Yep. And Purge helped, and obviously, yeah, inventing D-Style to try and repair is always the worst way to have to use D-Style. Not criticizing him for doing it, but obviously you want to do something else with it.
We can stay on if we can stay on the front foot and force them to use things in ways that are suboptimal.
That's right.
To level things up.
So let's see what they do. They have taken some time, so unless they're explaining their reasons for playing Asia scoring, they probably don't hold it.
No.
Which harks back to me wondering if their headline was a telegraph that they didn't hold a scoring card.
I don't think they haven't got CIA, probably.
Oh, hello.
Okay, well, that's okay, isn't it? So that's quite helpful.
Oh, okay. So they overprotect even though they've got the China card, and they're effectively seen. Should we take all the 2 stabs?
Yeah, definitely.
And then in our countries to cover.
Yeah,
like that, or one somewhere else. I honestly like that. I don't really fancy Austria or Benelux or Finland.
No, that's fine. That's fine, isn't it?
Yeah?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, that also makes NATO playable in turn 3 onwards.
Okay.
So they've taken Egypt, so that gambit's been taken away from us. So do we make sure we play into Iraq at some point this turn end? Now that Egypt's lost, we need to play into Iraq, so if they coup Iran, we have access still.
Yeah. I think spacing Arab-Israeli
this turn, yeah,
is it this turn.
Agreed. Let's just do that and put the clock back on them.
Quite possibly got something they want to space.
Well, unfortunately, I managed to roll a big 6 for that. Didn't roll a 6 for the coup, but it did for the space.
It rolled well enough for the coup.
Yeah, good enough. All right, so let's see if we get blockaded or not. That's the key question. And if we don't get blockaded, we can use NORAD, and we go 1 Iraq, 1 somewhere else, and 1 somewhere else. Do we go 1 Pakistan, 1 Iraq, 1 India? Because Pakistan's as likely to be flipped with the Arab-Israeli war as India would with an op-in.
Yeah, although I think Lebanon's still quite tempting, although they wouldn't fill it first.
Even if they
2-1, would they?
Yeah, because they still need to take a battleground. We'd still have a chance to respond, although they could then take Syria. I feel like India, Iraq, Pakistan is more aggressive because of the battleground mentality. And if Asia scoring's not going to drop, taking India and threatening to hold Japan is potentially threatening domination because we still have this wing of 1 stab countries. So India is aggressive, to use our buzzword this game. Anytime one of us wants to lobby for an argument, we just have to say that the move is aggressive.
Yeah.
And then it becomes the brinksmanship thing. Well, no, mine's more aggressive. Mine's the nuclear option.
Just tip the table over.
Interesting they invented Marshall Plan. I guess we didn't give them a lot of choice. But I guess the question is, what card are they more happy to play on AR6? Because Marshall under Purge would have been one of the things you think they'd try to space. Because they're effectively giving up Europe domination for the rest of the game here.
Well, they must have some stuff. It's worth thinking about because this is going to be their hold card as well, isn't it? The choice they've got a choice of 2 plus the China card, and they're thinking. So it can't be either of the scoring cards. and it can't be something really obvious like containment.
It could be containment, I suppose.
I would, well,
They always
maybe
want to invent
if
that
they're thinking
AR6.
what to do with it, I suppose.
If they've got containment, we might have 4 ops to play with. Ooh la
Yeah.
la.
So
That
I was,
wouldn't be
I
an
was
unreasonable AR6.
thinking if it was containment, they would have played faster. But
Yeah,
it might be
hard
that
to
they're
read.
discussing what to do with it.
They might. We took plenty of time in our game. So yeah, should think about that eventuality. It's Fidel. So they got 1 op because they're purged. They take Lebanon before we can.
Great.
Alright, so we've
So
got 3 ops to use, and I would argue, even if they're going to coup Iran, we make sure we don't lose access so we can take Saudi if they do coup Iran. 1 into India like that means Arab-Israeli war flips Pakistan, but we retain access.
The only thing about that is if they get a big coup away in Iran, then we can be in trouble. I guess we can load up Saudi Arabia, but is it worth popping one of those, well, 2 of them into Egypt to break Egypt?
NASA removes it.
Oh, yeah, they still.
And there's a chance they'll. I mean, we'll find out after the deal. I think Egypt's not really. Yeah, not really a successful option, is it? Although, of course, we'll get to defect a NASA headline because our intention is to defect their headline next term, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So we could tap Egypt on the basis that we know we're defecting a NASA headline.
It protects Iran.
It does and gives us access. So
we can't do anything to change the scoring state at the moment, can we?
No, we can't. This is scored. We don't know.
Into India would.
Yes, it would. Hold on. There's another option, isn't there, which is tap North Korea for Dom.
Yeah.
And then 1 into Pakistan to overprotect, or 1 into Iraq. But so only decolonization in the headline can deny Asia domination on their side doing that. And we leave ourselves at risk if we don't overprotect Pakistan, and then we've done nothing in the Middle East. But it does. That's the only way to swing a score. So that's one option: overprotect Pakistan and break North Korea. And the only things they can headline that would stop Asia domination are a successful Indo-Pakistani war, which doesn't swing domination back their way because they don't have a non-battleground, or decol, which again doesn't swing domination back their way, but does deny domination. So that's the most aggressive option.
They'd have to use up 2 of their ops from decol in probably Indonesia.
That's right, which would mean they can't expand into Africa
Cambodia.
as much. And we're still defecting their headline if we don't pick up Asia scoring ourselves. So that's the most aggressive line. Then I think the next most aggressive line is Iraq, Pakistan, India to press into India, or tap Egypt, 1 in Pakistan, to then say, look, you either have to coup Egypt or coup Iran.
Okay, so if we're defecting, because I think one thing to worry about would be Suez.
So getting the access to Egypt is important there, certainly.
Well, no, but if we're defecting, then Suez doesn't matter so much.
Suez doesn't trigger, you're right. So the Asia line, again, is the most aggressive of those, because it actually swings domination.
Should we try
Why not?
Put scoring pressure on them.
So 1 there and 1 in Pakistan to overprotect. It does mean if they successfully flip with Indo-Pakistan war, they get 0-3, but they're holding the China card anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make a great heap of difference because they
it gives them something to worry about turn 1.
Yeah.
There's a chance that they might pass up the coup.
Yeah. Commit that.
Yeah.
We're done. Okay. Turn 2. Oh yeah, Action Round 0 is broadcasting in Spanish. So we did not get Asia scoring. We got Suez and we got decol. Hooray! So, what is our headline? Defect. And we're defecting what? Vietnam revolts, Indo-Pakistani war. Worst case scenario, they play something like US-Japan. They may headline captured Nazi. Again, that's fine by us. Eastern European rest. We got CIA, unfortunately. And we've got defectors, so those are our blue cards, and red, Suez, Decol, socialist governments. Okay, so what are they likely to headline? Blockade, NASA, no.
Vietnam.
Blockade or Vietnam revolts or captured Nazi are the likeliest headlines from them. We're fine denying any of those, I guess. Vietnam just means that they can fill up the Southeast Asian battlegrounds more aggressively. If they headline Indo-Pakistani war, we're laughing. Although, to be fair, if they coup,
they could be dumping. I don't think they'd be dumping.
If they headline Asia scoring and we defect it, that would be the worst case scenario.
And one other thing is, if you look at the cards that are left, there are a lot of red cards left.
Yep.
There's a lot of neutral cards left. So it could potentially 5-year plan and steal.
Yeah. So what's the worst case scenario if we headline 5?
A few
high up cards.
3 ups.
Yeah. If we headline it, we may hit containment or US-Japan, or Formosa or special relationship, all of which aren't shabby. But we may pull Asia scoring if they're not headlining it. The question is, are they double bluffing us? Because they might go, oh, well, if they defect, and they know it's 50-50 for us to be holding defectors. So if they play Asia scoring here and we defect it, they look like geniuses.
So if we defect and then RT1 is, or AR1, sorry, we got a possibility of doing something nasty, or a bit nasty with Eastern European unrest at some point, actually. Not T1, but not AR1.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, there's a good opportunity to cause some damage in Europe. I mean, that might make a glorious AR6 if we get away with it, because that's must respond.
Good opportunity to get rid of Suez, actually, as well.
Yep.
Get it out of the deck.
Yep.
What do you reckon? I think defectors.
Okay, and if they've got Asia scoring, then they're geniuses.
Well,
I agree. They're more likely to defect other stuff, and it's a shame if it happens, but well done them. Defect rather than 5-year plan?
I think so.
Because the other option is CIA to look at their entire hand, but I feel like CIA is better in the deck.
I'd like to keep CIA in the deck. If your scoring is even after the first turn and the board position is not terrible, I think it could be a longer game.
Right, we'll defect then, yeah?
Yep.
Here it comes.
Is it Asia?
Oh, it's even better! It's Indo-Pakistani war! Oh, that is a glorious result for us. Okay, so now they will still coup Iran because it's the best place to coup, but we know we're sitting pretty. So should we...
Also, they're interested in Asia.
Yeah, should we take all the one-stab battlegrounds? And India? India next, I guess, right? After a coup, we take India. Oh, no, wait, if they're coupping...
I think it depends what happens in Iran.
It does, yeah.
Because I think there's a fair chance they've got both Asia and Middle East.
And they've got to deal with both threats. I suppose, they may play into Libya, in which case we coup.
They quite possibly haven't got Vietnam, because I think that's maybe a stronger headline.
Yeah, because I agree, because I feel like what they'd want to do is coup Iran and try and get a 50-50 on Pakistan by headlining it.
Maybe they don't have Asia, and maybe they were worried that we would headline it.
Here comes Warsaw, so that makes an AR6 Eastern European unrest more attractive, and they fail on the coup.
Nice.
So what do? Do we repair Iran and pop an influence in one of the one-stab battlegrounds to maintain domination, or one into India to start walking in?
Or we could even... This could be the point at which we put a bit of pressure on and either race in Iraq or poke Egypt for Libya.
They may still hold NASA, so poking Egypt is more damaging. So shall we go 5-year plan, one in Iran, 2 in Iraq?
Yep.
And then if they move into Saudi, we can take Iraq with a 2-op card, or that just levels up now. I guess we're never going to win the foot race in the Middle East, but we can we can deny domination.
I mean, the other thing is they could with a 3, so
they're again not holding a 4-op card. The only 4-op card left is US-Japan.
US-Japan, isn't it? But whether do we force them? It might mean that they, I don't know. Well, it could be Kamikana to go, but we could worry them in North Korea.
Do you say worry them in North Korea?
We could get that. Yeah.
Okay, you're getting robotic again, I'm afraid. So 2 in North Korea, one in Iran.
Yeah,
means they have to
yeah,
use
but I don't.
Comic-Con de Gaulle, US-Japan containment, or the China card.
Yeah, actually, I don't think I like that.
It's a lot of effort to expend, I guess.
Yeah.
So the other option is one Iran, two Iraq.
So definitely one Iran.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think yeah,
We're not going
I
to get
think one
another
Iran,
chance to
two
take Iraq.
Iraq,
Yeah,
and then they'll go
three
to
Saudi or two
Libya,
Libya. Yeah,
maybe three
yeah.
Saudi. So that's fine, and we can.
We could go Eastern European arrest if we don't want to do our AR6 and go
Yeah,
two Iraq to take and one Saudi, and we're just trying to go 3-3, I guess, or
yeah.
3-2.
So that's not bad for if we can get three in there. That's not bad for Muslim Revolution.
That's true. We want to spread our influence around to make sure we don't get punted out.
Yeah, one Iran, two Iraq.
Sure, let's do that. Done. It is triggered. So yeah, I think what they do now will dictate which scoring card, if one or the other they hold, right? If they do something to level up Asia, they're probably holding Asia scoring. If they do something to threaten domination in the Middle East, they're probably holding Middle East scoring. What they're not likely to do is be able to do both, because that will necessitate... Well, actually, 3-ops, they can take North Korea and Libya. So a 3-op card can dominate the Middle East and level up Asia. And then we need to decide what we do.
Yeah. Okay.
If they do that, we need to decide which territory we press. Do we press to deny domination in the Middle East or to take domination in Asia? And I suppose I don't know. My take on this is usually, my take on this is usually the US's job is just to deny domination in the early war and weather the storm. So while it's nice to try and take Asia domination, we don't. It's worse to be dominated in the Middle East, and that's exactly what they've done. So now we have to decide. What do we think? So do we want to press on Asia? I just feel like it's going to be harder for us to manage domination of Asia. We have to take India immediately to go back in the lead, and then we have to invest ops to dominate all the one stab regions.
So I think I know they didn't have it last time. There's still a fair chance of them holding US Japan.
Yep. So they might
have been
give us a battleground for nothing.
card.
So do we go two Iraq, one Saudi?
I think so.
With Eastern European unrest, which means we then don't get to be fancy in Europe AR6. No. But AR6, if we get blockaded, we have to chuck Suez or socialist governments and space decoal. So we're not gonna be able to get fancy that often anyway, are we?
Yeah.
So two Iraq, one Saudi.
Yeah.
And then they need to use a 4-op card to take one of Israel or Saudi, which then gives us Japan or the China card. Yeah? So at least we're putting ops pressure on them. What we're doing is we're trading our 3-op cards for their 4-op cards. That doesn't sound bad. Sounds like we're netting on the deal.
Yeah. And also, I mean, the meta is to hang in there as the US early war, isn't it?
So should we do that? Commit?
Yeah.
Done.
I think the other thing is I'd quite like to get rid of... I know we want to... probably like hold decoal, but we don't have many flexible ops in our hand yet.
We do not. We're down to 3 flexible ops.
Yeah. Getting Suez out earlier, because
if we're going to get Suez out early, we need to put one in Jordan with Suez, right? Because we're going to lose the one in Israel. The risk of eventing Suez, we have to play into Jordan or Syria. Sorry. Okay, they had Asia scoring.
Okay.
So you're right. Our 2 options are, as I see them, the 2 options are space decoal, which we don't really want to do until we know we're being blockaded, right? Because we'd ideally like to hold decoal. Event Suez, which means playing one into Jordan to avoid getting cleared out. Although, Suez we could go 1 Jordan, 2 Saudi to finish taking 3 battlegrounds, and then hopefully play back into Israel before they have a chance to take it. What do you think? We just can't event Suez first. That's the deal breaker. So what do you like?
So 1 Jordan, 2 Saudi. That would be, yeah, I think.
The other option is, because obviously we haven't seen it yet, if they're holding special relationship, we event Suez and go
Either that or,
1 Jordan, 1 UK, 1 Saudi. So make sure
or
that
we could
UK's at
get
5.
CIA out of could get CIA out of the deck and pop that into Jordan, and then that allows us to play Suez the other way around.
Yep. So
Event first, and
so it's a
then
bit of a null round, but CIA 1 into Jordan.
yeah, because
It doesn't
we
alter the
definitely
board state,
want.
but
No, but I don't think we can unless we're willing to. Yeah, I don't think we can. We
no,
unless we're willing to
and we can't take domination.
poke Egypt,
Yeah, and with NASA still
and even
accounted for, it's
then, yeah,
yeah, we're not going to get domination in the Middle East because we don't have a battleground yet. So poking
no,
Egypt doesn't do a lot. So should we just do that? Get CIA back in the deck?
yeah,
Yeah, cool. All right,
yeah.
1 in Jordan, CIA done. They'll just say, oh, they're just putting CIA back in the deck before the reshuffle. How boring. And they're right, but you know, sometimes you have to be boring to be good. So now we can event Suez and then decide how to spend the ops. Whether that's 1 back in Israel. We could go Suez, 1 in Jordan, 2 in Saudi for domination. They then have to play into Syria and Israel because we'd be 4 battlegrounds, 3 plus 1 battleground to their 2 plus 1. Although we need to watch out for special relationship because ideally we make them have to play special relationship into the UK to break it or space it, rather than get 2 free ops.
Yeah.
Let's see. Starting to whittle down the cards they may or may not hold.
There's quite a few one-ups.
They are blockade
there, aren't
Romania,
there?
NASA,
UN,
and captured Nazi.
CNS.
Yeah. End of turn 2, and we've been playing nearly an hour. Well, 45 minutes. 45 minutes. I'm being exaggerating. Anyway, we're in decent shape in Europe because we can easily deny domination. We are average in Asia because we're thinking we're likely to get US, Japan, and we're fairly average in the Middle East, and we've only really been outclassed in Chile thanks to getting that coup from Venezuela. So as early war goes, we've weathered the storm all right.
Yeah.
Being blockaded sucks because we have to give decol back up, so that's kind of the one thing I hope doesn't happen this turn. Okay, Formosa.
So that gives us another. So I think they have.
Middle East scoring.
Yeah.
So what do we do here? We can use independent reds to take Iran and put another 1 in Saudi for pressure, or we can use Suez, and we could go 1 Iran, 1 UK to repair, and 1 Saudi again, or 1 back into Israel immediately. The issue with putting 1 back into Israel immediately, I guess, is that Arab-Israeli war is immensely playable just now.
Yeah, it could go 1 into Jordan even, because that levels up the country count.
It
and
does, and threatens to take Saudi and go dominate. So
it makes Arab-Israeli less likely as well.
That's right. So I can place the influence to show how it ends up, I guess. So 1 UK to cover and make sure it's maintained. And then when it's their turn, they'll remove 1 from Israel, making it 0-1, and 2 from the UK, making it 5-0. And we are 3 all in country count, and we can play 2 ops into Saudi to dominate with independent reds.
Yeah.
Like it?
Yeah, I think so.
Should we do it?
Yeah.
Cool. It is done. Right, and that's another nasty card out the deck. De Gaulle is kind of the worst red card left in the deck. So we need to remember that Formosa's in play, because that gives us another battleground target.
Yep.
And obviously Korean War's gone, so we don't have to rush to fill it, but it's worth bearing in mind it's in play. So I suspect that they will drop Middle East scoring on this action round, now that we've gone 3 all.
It feels like they've got it.
It does. And then AR5. So we can't space socialist governments until AR6 because if we space socialist governments and then go, well, sorry, it's our blockade card. Blah blah blah. I should let my brain work before I start talking.
Don't bother.
No, well, I rarely do. I think that's why I end up in so much trouble.
No, so it's a bit rubbish with a kind of threat of blockade, kind of holding something that's going to go to space, isn't it? But,
Indeed. But
although
it's how you defend yourself.
Be, yeah, it might be something that if they end up playing containment AR6, then we can use it to shuffle some influence around. Maybe.
Indeed. Yeah. The worst case scenario about eventing socialist governments is if they remove us out of Turkey and Greece, we then can't get back into Turkey. But if they're taking influence out of there, we're laughing anyway because they're not meaningfully influencing the important bits of Europe.
We've got Canada, Portugal, and Greece one away from.
Exactly. Yeah, we're looking all right. Alright, so AR5, if they do something to threaten Middle East domination, we just riposte. If they drop Middle East scoring, we gain tempo. So where shall we spend our tempo in that eventuality? Do we... what are our options? Algeria? India? Some of the one-stab Southeast Asian non-battlegrounds? Let's see what they're doing. Oh, they're going for it. They're going for gold. They really want to dominate. Okay. We can repair that. 1, 2, 3. But what we can't do... That's nicely done. So we can't... What do they got? 1, 2... Oh, no, 3. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm miscounting.
So they're playing for us having Middle East, I think.
Do we just repair and go 1 Saudi? And just say, you can have Israel, but we'll take Saudi?
So I don't think they've got Middle East now. So what could we do to influence elsewhere? I think we have to do something to level up Middle East.
Yep. And then the one extra, we can go Mexico, Cuba, Angola, all of which are couable or fidelable. We could go 1 Afghanistan or 1 India in advance again of a potential reshuffle Indo-Pakistani war.
Yeah, especially if they coup Iran.
Yeah, which makes Pakistan's dodgier. If they coup Iran AR1, we can take India and then both are a 5 or a 6, not a 4, 5, 6.
We still have a chance there for domination as well in Asia because we
already dominate. Yep.
No, sorry, I mean if they flip.
Oh, flip it. You're right. We take India and Taiwan and the one stabs. Yeah. So 1 India. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And AR6, we'll see if we get blockaded. Yeah. If we don't get blockaded, do we use socialist governments, repair some damage, and do something else rather than space it, or do we? Do we wait and see?
Yeah, wait and see.
Are we happy with this though? Independent Reds, 1 Iran, 1 India. Yep. Cool. I'll commit that, and we'll put the thinking back on.
So I think actually, now we've committed, I wonder if they might break it again.
They might. In which case, we use socialist governments and event repair. Because what's the worst case they can do? They can take 2 out of West Germany, 1 out of the UK, and we go 1 Germany, 1 UK.
Right.
Well, they only had 1 op. Yeah.
Okay.
So do we? So right, what can we do? We can event socialist governments, repair West Germany, and tap something in, or tap Israel, or take Saudi. Or we can put 2 in Saudi and 1 in. Yeah. Should we event and repair socialist governments, do we think?
I think so.
Rather than leave Middle East dominate.
Yeah. So event it, and we can have a think while they're removing.
Okay. So they won't remain in abdication.
A slightly odd thing to do would be to poke Lebanon.
Yep, that's a nice domination.
And then even if they get a successful coup away,
they still have to do something to affect domination.
Yeah.
So I propose we take West Germany back, which I know means special relationships 2 free ops for them, but such is life. And then, yeah, tap Lebanon.
I think so.
Yep, that's better than getting a coup away. All right, we're going to know most of their hand going into the next turn. Happy?
Yep.
On to turn 3. We got Asia scoring, we dominate. We got Middle East scoring, we can drop because we've got NASA, and we've got captured Nazi scientist. So let's have a quick think. Vietnam revolts does not change domination. Indo-Pakistani war, if successful, does. We go from dominating to losing a VP. But they have to have had Indo-Pakistani war reshuffled. So before I start overthinking, let's work out what they've got. They've got blockade, so we need to hold socialist governments.
They've got
Vietnam revolts, definitely.
revolts.
They know we're holding.
Comic-Con.
They know we're holding Middle East scoring. They don't know we're holding Middle East. They're holding containment and special relationship.
Yep.
So we know 5 of the cards in their hand. We know they've got Comic-Con, Vietnam, special, containment, blockade. So if they headline blockade, we chuck socialist governments. If they headline Vietnam revolts, they do not gain domination. And if they headline Comic-Con, they're not very good, right? So they're either headlining Vietnam revolts, blockade, or one of their new cards. I think we gamble on Asia scoring right. Indo-Pakistani war is a 1 in 3 chance to go from +5 to -1. So that's a 1 in 3 chance of a 6 VP swing.
Yeah, the only thing about that is there's nothing that they can have that will change. So a coup for them, a successful coup in Iran, gives the Middle East domination, and we can't respond.
It does not give them immediate domination because they don't have Lebanon.
Oh, that's true.
So a coup in Iran
would give them +3.
Yeah, the issue is we then have to shore up India because Indo-Pakistani war becomes a 50-50, which is why I still think getting Asia scoring away quickly is best. With Asia scoring gone, we can respond to what they do in the Middle East before they get domination. I still think Indo-Pakistani war is the only disaster card in Asia. There's no disaster card in the Middle East. So our other option, you're right, is we can drop Middle East right now for -1. But that gives them time to fix Asia, although they don't know we're holding it. So I can see...
Yeah.
I see the advantages to both.
Can we just count up our... So we're a bit ops poor.
We're very ops poor, yeah, with socialist governments to hold as our...
Yeah. So I think getting rid of one of the scoring cards makes sense. They're probably going to fill up... Let's say they go Vietnam. They've got 3 countries to our 4.
So we still dominate, and we're
probably take. The thing is about getting rid of. The thing about getting rid of Middle East that I quite like is it doesn't give them a good coup.
It doesn't, but they're probably still taking it. And
in which case we then drop Asia.
Okay, I feel like Asia's the better... I think Asia's just so much... I don't know. I feel like we're not going to snag Asia domination unless we drop it in the headline.
Okay.
But so, I don't know. We should talk it out. You're right. They have to coup... They know we're holding Middle East scoring. So if we don't headline Middle East scoring, they're definitely cooing in the Middle East. So
there's nothing that they can do to affect Middle East until we get into the... action rounds.
So you're probably right. So what happens if we headline Middle East scoring and they headline Vietnam revolts? They just won't bother taking a coup, and they'll make sure we can't dominate Asia, but we've made sure they can't dominate Middle East.
Yeah.
So what happens? We go into late war around -2 VP, give or take, which is better than average, and they didn't get decol. So that's not a bad worst case scenario. So I think maybe you're right, and Middle East scoring is the right headline. And it's perfect information. They know we're holding it.
Because I can't click on my screen.
Asia's +5.
+5.
Right. It'll go down to plus. What will it go down to? We're 1v. It'll go down to +1 as soon as they. Yeah, it'll go down to +1 as soon as we stop dominating. And it goes to -1 if they successfully Indo-Pakistani war. India and Pakistan. So Middle East scoring, Middle East scoring and ward against Indo-Pakistani war.
So I would, being so ops poor, I would quite like to dump the two scoring cards in the first
ASAP.
two.
Yeah, sure.
In the first two, headline and AR1.
So is the best order to do that in Middle East and Asia? Because Asia they don't know we hold, and they do know we hold Middle East.
That's my feeling.
Okay, Middle East scoring it is. Sure.
Well,
As sure as you can be. You've
I'm
talked me
very
around.
not
You've
sure,
talked me around.
but
I was lobbying for Asia, and you stood firm. So
let's go.
Middle East.
Which is the more aggressive?
Yeah, good question. Middle East is because it's complete information for them. So we hold information back,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
By not headlining Asia scoring.
Yeah.
So Middle East scoring it is.
Yeah.
I think that's best. Re-add discards. We've gained Asia. We've gained SocGov back, and we gained Olympic Games back. So now we've dropped Middle East scoring, and I think they'll headline blockade or Vietnam revolts, or maybe purge. Right? Purge is a risk because we can't defect it, and then if they blockade us, we lose West Germany. So that's bad. But then I guess what we do is we emphasize.
We don't necessarily use West Germany
if they
because it
purge
depends
us.
if they do, but they also have containment.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I know
you're right.
containment
AR6,
is
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's fine. You're right. That is a gambit that I hadn't thought of. Yep.
Well, they'd have to. I think they'd probably blockade AR5, contain AR6, so we wouldn't be able to do it. But
indeed. Remaining application. What a sanguine headline.
Yeah, that's not much there, is it?
Oh, it gains Europe domination.
Ah.
That's what they're thinking. So if they drop Europe domination in the headline, do we respond with Asia domination?
I think so, yeah. I don't think we've...
If they coup Iran first, do we still score Asia domination because they didn't immediately drop Europe domination? Because they know we can immediately respond. Or do we deny Europe domination even if it costs us Asia domination? Let's see what they do if they coup. If they coup, they have to coup Iran.
They must have Europe because otherwise Vietnam makes so much sense.
Yeah. They don't know we're holding Asia scoring though, so they may not be looking that way.
And the other thing is could steal the mill up.
Okay, so they've got the coup. Iran. Oh no. Wow, they went South Africa. Always a worthy gamble. Right. So Special Asia achieved nothing. So we've got two options here. We either drop Asia scoring and run the risk of them dropping Europe scoring AR2, or we stop Europe scoring and hope they don't level up Asia. What do you think?
I don't think we can win a foot race in Asia, Europe, can we? In Europe, because
we need to use two ops to go 4-4. So we'd go Portugal and Turkey. And then it's another two ops to gain 2 or 3 battlegrounds. So I think we can win a foot race.
Maybe. Can they level up in one go in Asia?
Yeah, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam is for all.
Afghanistan. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they've got an easy way to level up Asia. So I kind of think Asia's scoring now or never.
Yeah.
Even if we end up giving up Europe Dom. And if we don't give up Europe Dom, we've got plenty of time to level off, knowing they're not going to drop it.
So is it easier to level up Europe than it is to defend Asia? Because if it's easier to level up Europe, which definitely. So we play Asia first because we might. Yeah. Definitely.
I agree. I think if we don't score Asia now, we're never gonna. And it's 5 for 5. So if they riposte immediately with Europe scoring, we're no worse off having debated it.
No. I think CNS is one to get out soon as well.
If they drop Europe scoring immediately, we space capture Nazi. And they don't. They space independent Reds. They get there though.
Boo.
So do we take Portugal and Turkey?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think they've got it, but I think we take it while
they definitely don't have it, but now we want to make sure we don't get outgunned later in the match, right? So by taking those and then taking Greece against Brush War for Italy.
Yeah.
And then we've got UK and Canada for NORAD if it triggers, or NATO special relationship later on. Yeah? 2 ops?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. We'll do that now. Cool. 'Tis done. Oh gee, so they spaced independent Reds. Weird, headline. Maybe they were thinking we'd got Europe scoring in the reshuffle. I don't get the logic of that headline. Even blockade seems more attractive.
Well, wait and see what the rest of their hand is. But they have got Vietnam revolts.
They definitely have Vietnam
So
revolts.
yeah, unless I didn't miss anything going earlier, did I?
We definitely didn't. I'll just scroll through the play. Fidel, Marshall, D-Stull, Truman, NTB, Duck and Cover was their turn 1. Turn 2, they played Romanian Abdication, US Japan, Formosa, Asia, De Gaulle, Warsaw, and Indo-Pakistani War. So they're definitely holding Vietnam revolts, no doubt.
Mm.
So yes, I'm not sure Romanian Abdication was the better headline. And with D-Stull gone, it's not like they were going to use it to get free D-Stull ops. Strange. So what's the rest of our turn? Event captured Nazi for space. Event NASA and put an op somewhere.
Yeah.
UN intervention
Could we?
decol.
So
Or space
is
decol
there?
and UN intervention of socialist governments if we're not blockaded.
Well, and then that gives us. Here comes Vietnam.
Okay, so they're spreading in
So
South America and they've moved into Algeria.
one possibility would be to try and get up to Zaire while we can.
Agreed, yeah. So do we go NASA one into Angola
I think that would be
in advance of
the
Sadat?
best. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
We start our walk, they start theirs. Fine. Or do we want a UN intervention decol and go one Angola, one Lebanon, while we can take Lebanon cleanly off them? We're not going to get a better chance to take Lebanon
why
off
not?
them.
Why not?
UN intervention decol?
What would they least like us to do?
I think that, I don't know. They can't challenge Angola. They know they can't challenge Angola until next turn. So we've got time to do that. So do we go one NASA into Lebanon and not tip our hand? The problem with not going into Angola is it takes 2 action rounds to get to Zaire. Doesn't it? So I think UN intervention decol still gives us... Oh no, wait. If we do that, 3, 4, 5, and we get blockaded, we lose AR6.
Yeah.
So NASA first, one into
NASA
Angola,
first.
or one into Lebanon. I feel like, I mean, Middle East is scored, so there's
Yeah.
no rush to take Lebanon, but I also
No.
think we're not going to get it unless we do it.
But also,
Although Marine Barracks
the thing is
bombing's
that
going to
with
clean
Middle
itself.
East, I know they can get Lebanon, but they can get
Syria easily as well.
Syria easily.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got Jordan.
So NASA one to Angola, yeah?
I think so.
Agreed. Cool. Well talked out. You're right. The ease of taking Syria is what makes taking Lebanon a lot less attractive right now. Right. They've got 4 cards, and we know 3 of them. Comic-Con, Containment, Blockade.
So I think we are getting blockaded.
We are. The question is if they containment us first, we could be really sassy and give them decol once it's a 3-op card. It may not come to that. It depends when they containment us, but if they containment us first and then blockade us, decol becomes a 3-op card. And Socialist Governments becomes a positive 1-op card instead of a neutral card. We shall see. We shall wait and see. They played Warsaw Pact last turn, didn't they? Yes, it's back in the deck. At some point, we want to think about prodding France or East Germany, sorry. Although, of course, there's still John Paul who can come to our aid in the mid-war.
Yeah. They spaced independent Reds, didn't they?
They did,
so,
to
but that's not
Romania,
going to come back for a while.
If at all, yep. We just need to stay ahead in Europe, I think. It's nice to try and challenge Europe, but as long as we're not dominating Europe, we're happy. And we're now winning the foot race, for sure. The worst case scenario is we're somehow forced to event socialist governments and they take 2 out of Turkey and 1 out of Greece, so we lose access to Turkey. That's the worst case scenario, but that is only worst case. So are we eventing captured Nazi next turn?
Unless we need to.
Yeah, unless they do something mad like move into Saharan states, yeah. But they won't move into Sahara states because they don't want to give us mill-ops.
No.
They may move into Uruguay because of its higher stability. That would be a sly play. I suspect that they will. I don't know what I suspect they'll do. They've effectively got 3 clean ops with Comic-Con, and here it comes. So let's see what they do with
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna stop guessing. They just take and protect Argentina and
I don't think there's anything we
Chile.
can efficiently do about that.
Yep.
So
Event capture Nazi.
I think so.
Yeah, we can worry about taking Zaire
That
shortly.
leaves us with more flexibility, doesn't it?
Well, it does, because we still have a space this turn, possibly 2.
Yeah.
So we think, unless we're not sure what card they're holding. It's not CIA, because they didn't play AR1, but they've got 3 cards, one's containment and one's blockade. So they'll either blockade us this turn, and we ditch socialist governments, or they containment us this turn and blockade us next turn. I don't know what, they'd never containment us before blockade, would they? Oh, they've got De Gaulle. Okay, so now we've got perfect information.
Yeah. Okay.
And they have gone, because I was cancelling the move. Oh, they have gone to Uruguay.
Yeah. It's
Ooh.
pretty good.
UN intervention, decol coup Uruguay.
Oh,
and hope to get a good result. And then when we get blockaded, we ditch socialist governments.
Yeah, I think so.
We get Milops this way.
I think so, yeah.
And we've got to have a coup on Uruguay. Should we just see the odds before we click? The odds of cleaning them out are 50-50.
Yeah.
The odds of actually doing damage are 1 in 3.
Yeah, but the odds of saving 2 VPs.
Oh yeah, we also save 2 VP, and we go from them having 7 VP to having 4-ish. I think we should do that, yeah? UN intervention, coup decol, and then worst case scenario, they know by venting blockade we don't get an AR6. But they're also not doing anything by venting blockade.
Cool.
Yeah? Do it.
Go for it.
Big roll. 5 or 6. It's a 6.
Oh, well done.
We did it, Reddit. Right. We did it.
I'm just going to go AFK for just a minute or two.
No trouble.
Hold on.
Well, Twitch, now I have you to myself. What can I tell you in the few seconds that Jim is away from the keyboard? Let's see if we can do something crazy with social governments before he gets back. So, if we get containmented here, we're in decent shape because we can do something with socialist governments. No, they just event it. We discard it. We don't get an AR6. All is fair there. Hello. Okay. They blockaded us.
Okay.
So we don't get an AR6, but we're no worse off.
That doesn't need any discussion.
It doesn't, so yes.
That gives them an interesting...
Yeah, because we can walk into Brazil if they don't get junta/junta.
Yeah.
Okay, we pass the turn. There's nothing else we can do. We get ABM, which is glorious. We get We Will Bury You, but having seen UN intervention go. We also got Muslim Rev, so we're safe in the Middle East. We've got... I mean, that's not a shabby deal. We've got a couple of 4-up cards we can't do a lot with, so we're probably spacing one and holding the other. But if we get off to space, we can also space South African Unrest. We could event Eastern European Unrest and give them a real headache. Alright, so our headline's either ABM to protect against missile envy, but if they headline missile envy, we just give them We Will Bury You and they don't get a coup. Eastern European Unrest? Is that the thing that gives them the biggest headache?
That puts scoring and pressure on straight away.
It does indeed.
So, is there anything else that puts scoring pressure on straight away?
No. Indo-Pakistan War doesn't do anything.
So the other thing that does is a coup...
puppet governments. Or an ABM coup somewhere, yeah.
An ABM coup into Argentina does.
No, that just levels it up. 1-1.
No. Oh, sorry, 1-1. Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. We can't see the whole board. It's why there's 2 of us.
Let me scroll down. Oh, no, I can't.
Lads. Sorry. You want that better?
That's all good.
I've only got 7 cards in my tracker so far. What am I missing? EU and Puppet Gov. Boom, boom, boom. So yes, what other cards? Puppet governments we could set up domination in Africa with, but it's extremely couable. And we can play puppet governments in our AR and it does the most damage. I think Eastern European Unrest only surprises them in the headline. So if we're headlining it, that's fine. But there's no other reason to play Eastern European Unrest for the event outside of headline. And we're safe. ABM can't be stolen from us because we can just give them We Will Bury You. Yes, they get 3 VP, but they lose they lose their coup option. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can mute my mic and yell at Jenny to make tea. Just trying to think. It's been an hour and 20 minutes and I've not had tea for about half of that, so now I'm starting to crave. I like Eastern European unrest. They don't know we're not holding Europe scoring. If they're holding Europe scoring, they have to respond, so we may get a coup off instantly.
I think it puts instant pressure on the scoreboard.
Yep.
And there's always the chance as well that it might walk into a Europe scoring headline. They've decided that they can't do anything
And they've
to
just dump
beat
it,
us. Yeah.
Like it. What else do we want to do? We don't want to headline into Pank. We don't want to headline NORAD. We don't headline We Will Bury You, unless they're going to headline Duck and Cover and we trick them into DEFCON Suicide, but that's quite the gambit. We're definitely not headlining any of the red cards. Latin American Death Squads isn't great. I mean, it's all right. It means that they struggle to coup Uruguay and we could ABM coup Argentina.
The
but
thing is,
there's so little Latin America. If they play Liberation,
Uruguay, then we get a coup away anyway.
We do. Latin American Death Squads is only a good headline if they headline Liberation Theology, because it means that we can ramp up the pressure on cooing there. But I think East European Unrest is way sassier.
I think instant kind of scoreboard pressure.
All right, and we just go ding, ding, ding on their 3. Yep, Eastern European Unrest.
Yeah.
They're purging us.
Well,
we purge them, so fair is fair. Okay.
Although we'll have that last turn containment probably.
We may. That's true. So not even for the whole turn. EEU. So now they have to decide, do we have a coup? And do we run the risk of them having Europe scoring? Or do we repay Europe scoring and give them the coup? I suspect that they'll coup Angola. And then we have to decide, do we ABM treaty coup it back? Which I like in a vacuum, depending on how strong the Angola coup is. And of course, Portuguese Empire crumbles is a thing.
Where are we thinking about for Puppet? Because that's the only thing, is that if they coup Angola, we can use Puppet to go into Zaire.
That's right. We can just respond with puppet governments. Yeah, you're right. So if they coup Angola, maybe event puppet governments and go 1 Zaire, 1 Nigeria, 1 Venezuela? Or do we go 1 Panama because we think we're going to be able to walk into Brazil before they coup? Then we might not. Yeah. Do we forget Nigeria and go 1 Zaire, 1 Venezuela, 1 Panama? I feel like we have to take Zaire and Nigeria while we can, so those are the 2 of the must.
Decol went.
Yep, we just ditched it turn
3. There's always the chance of salting something, but
salt purge to double purge us. That's what's going to happen. That would take some stones. Okay, let's see where the coup is. I suspect the coup will be Angola. But they're thinking, oh crap, do we level up Europe? And they are leveling up Europe, so now we get the coup. Oh, clever. So do we coup Argentina? Are we not distracted? I think we have to drop DEFCON. The alternative, of course, is We Will Bury You to drop DEFCON and take... Oh, no, wait,
No, I think we take the coup.
Yeah,
I think we take the coup.
With NORAD, a 2-op card? Or with ABM Treaty, a 3-op card, but not using it as a DEFCON raiser?
I think I'd rather use NORAD because we can
have another bite of the cherry.
Do much with NORAD.
Yeah.
ABM, we can respond to something unexpected like Liberation Theology.
Yeah, we do need a 6 to deny domination in South America. Because even if we coup successfully, they're still 1 battleground, and they're still dominating.
Not sure what else we can do about it though, other than coup the non-battleground, which leaves them.
Oh, that's terrible for sure. Yeah, the other option is coup Algeria and give up on South America, and it seems early to do that.
Yeah.
So I think we're end played into having to coup Argentina.
And also, we're not under immediate scoreboard pressure, are we?
No.
Like we're 1 VP up.
You're right.
So.
And we've gotten the coup in the Milops. Yep.
If they have a minor South America domination, it's not the end of the world.
Cool. So coup Argentina?
Yeah.
So 5 or a 6, please. Ha, a 1. Quite the opposite, my good man. Oh well, that's a good bit of zugzwang by then. We didn't have a satisfactory option. So now are we looking to puppet governments to spread a bit of influence around?
I think so.
Brazil, Panama, Nigeria? Because Brazil is important in case they coup Uruguay.
Well, the other thing is we could have another roll of the dice with ABM at Argentina.
But we can do that at any point in the turn as long as we
Yeah,
don't
that's
get
true. And
missile
it won't,
embed.
at the moment, it won't.
We just need to make sure we don't lose We Will Bury You and Muslim Revolution before missile envy.
Yeah.
And we don't want to space We Will Bury You if they missile envy us, because then we give them Muslim Revolution, which does a lot of damage. They get 8 out of us, so we have to be careful about that.
It wouldn't be a terrible idea to leave ABM for the last AR6, because there's a fair chance they'll be playing containment, so we'd get the full value for it.
That we would. Yeah. We now have to hold South African unrest because it's unspaceable right now, unless of course they fix containment. So I guess we're looking to space Muslim Revolution at some point this turn. I think we're looking to event puppet governments. We're considering eventing Indo-Pakistani war for VP. Because I guess that's the whole thing. As long as you're purged, you're better off eventing things, right? Because you get the full value of the event. You had it. Oh well.
Okay.
That happens. We can stop worrying about South America right now. Shall we use puppet governments?
I think so.
And go Nigeria, Panama, and Venezuela, even though South America scored? Do we want to make sure we stabilize in the long run? Because even if they event Portuguese Empire crumbles,
or
we'll take Zaire.
Before we do that...
Well, I've already missed... Yeah, sorry, go on.
Okay. I know we can walk into Brazil.
Yep.
But if they could Uruguay, then
we
they
could be
would
in big trouble.
Well, I was thinking about one of puppet governments into Brazil
instead of
Venezuela.
Cool. It's much for muchness, right? If they coup Uruguay... Oh, no, you're right. It's only one more op to finish taking Brazil versus 2 ops. So 1 Panama, 1 Brazil, 1 Nigeria. Do we like that?
I think so.
Cool. I'm genuinely happy with that also. It also protects Panama against liberation theology, and if they event Panama Canal returns now, we get automatic control, which is also nice.
Yeah.
That's committed. Onwards and upwards.
What are we hoping that they don't have then?
We're hoping they don't have Central America scoring that they can drop for 0. Oh, sorry, okay. What are we really hoping they don't have? Brush War? Although Italy's a 50-50, so they want to...
Yeah, wouldn't be not a bad idea to get one more into Greece at some point.
That's right, although that takes a whole AR with our hand. Unless we use ABM Treaty for the beloved ops, which is... Although at this point, with South America scoring having dropped, using ABM for the ops isn't disgusting. And we've already got our mill ops. So, yeah. Worst case scenario, sorry. Brush War. Junta. So Quagmire is a disaster, although we've got plenty of 4-op cards we can throw into it.
Because I'm a bit worried about Muslim shuttle diplomacy. That's not bad, actually.
It's fairly neutral right now, of course, because both scoring cards have gone.
Yeah.
Do we worry about them having a 3-op card and flipping Nigeria because we can just event ABM and coup there? In which case, do we take the Greece op now while we've got a bit of tempo?
Yeah, or even one in Panama to worry them scoreboard-wise.
Yeah, one in Panama's not unreasonable. Blink. I think if they'd have had Brush War, they probably would have played it by now anyway.
I think they would have.
That shuttle diplomacy play was incredibly bland.
I think they'd have played it on Nigeria.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to walk to Nigeria.
So like that.
Yeah.
And like this, if they flip Nigeria, we coup it.
And ABM it back.
Yeah. Execute.
Yeah.
All right. Done. We're taking as long as they are for the record. The clocks are fairly well aligned.
That's interesting. I wonder if that's
If
no.
it means we're still deliberating too much.
Well, no, just if it means that you have a sense of how long the other people are taking, and a kind of
That's right.
internal clock kind of pushes you into making a decision around the same kind of speed
That's
as
right.
your opponent.
So should we speed up to put unknown mental pressure upon them? That's how you win the mental game. All right. So what's the rest of the turn? We want to ABM Nigeria if they flip it. Do we want to event Indo-Pakistani war to try and get some cheeky mill-ops? It's a 50-50, so it's net 1 VP versus using it for an op.
Southeast Asia could come out, so it wouldn't be a bad thing to put into Indonesia, maybe,
They
because
may,
they've got adjacency
yeah,
to
they just
Indonesia.
use shuttle to do that, so they may walk into Indonesia this turn.
Get another one into Zaire.
Yep. And what? So what are we looking at? Greece, Zaire, Indonesia are our.
So we're spacing. We will bury you, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Oh no, wait. No. I guess we want to space Muslim Revolution. So the problem with spacing Wheelberry is if they do then event missile MV,
Oh, hello.
we give them Muslim Revolution. Oh wow. Oh, so we think they're holding Southeast Asia scoring, yeah? But I think we have to respond in Africa, yeah?
I think coup Africa.
We've at least got the China card. That's a bonus. So worst case scenario, we'll look at the odds before we finish clicking execute. Worst case scenario, we retake Nigeria. Best case scenario, we also overprotect it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Go.
Okay, we really overprotect it. Yeah, so sorry. As I was saying, we want to...
Cultural Revolution?
To take the China card back? Yeah, it could happen. If it happens, it happens. I think worst case scenario now is Portuguese Empire collapses, in which case we just walk into Zaire. So, yeah. We want to... So, sorry. If we space We Will Bury You and they missile envy us, we have to hand the Muslim Revolution. So I feel like we want to hold We Will Bury You as long as possible to make sure that they can't missile envy us.
Yeah.
But I guess we need to be circumspect about spacing for two reasons. One is, if they give us containment, we might be able to space South African unrest anyway. And if we space successfully and they've got one small step, they'll leapfrog us. So we also want to space as late in the day as possible. Oh, hello. Shut my mouth. Alright, so now we're only going to get one space this turn. So I think it should...
Is there's nothing that they can...
They can't shorten our hand, but we may be forced to play South African unrest, which is gross.
Although I think it's very likely that they'll play containment as the last AR.
Yeah, but if we space South African unrest, we have to play Muslim Revolution because we're now not going to get two spaces away. So I feel like Muslim Revolution is better to space than South African unrest.
Yeah, so what I mean is if we space Muslim Revolution now, there's a possibility that we can mitigate some of the damage for South African unrest because it'll be a 2-op rather than a 1-op.
Agreed. And I'm happy spacing Muslim Rev now, so I'll do that.
Cool.
Good shout. Let's hope it succeeds so they can't space again. It doesn't. So now they're going to get another space off and go for the 2-0 square. Well, they're capable of doing it. They might not do it. They did. And did they successfully space? They did.
Oh, yeah.
The cosmonauts are on fire. Alright, so Indo-Pakistani War 1 into Zaire?
Yeah, I think so.
Over 1 into Greece, because they're telegraphing they don't have brush war.
I think 1 into Zaire, and then that allows us to...
If they AR7 contain us, yeah.
Yeah.
We can repair Angola.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, okay, that's done. So we're starting to get a little bit behind on the board. -6 and Southeast Asia scoring's another 4.
Yeah. But it's not... I don't think it's disastrous.
It's not. If we can fade Warsaw Pact and event John Paul, Poland looks horrible. So there's things we can do, for sure. It's not running away from us.
We've got mill-ops they haven't at the moment.
So coup Uruguay. Fail. That's good for us. So event South African unrest, not event first, because we want to play into.
Yeah, so 2 into Angola, isn't it?
Yeah, which makes it
'Cause that
3-2
then,
or 2-1 in South
yeah,
Africa.
but I think we can.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Commit that. Hold, we will bury you. Man, NASA have been very poor. Very, very poor. In fact, they've not actually gotten successfully off to space because the only one we got was an event.
From Braun.
Useless bleeding NASA. Alright, we have no information on their 2 cards. We've lost all our perfect information. Okay, so on to turn 3. We survived under
That's
Purge,
okay.
I guess.
We've got the China card though.
That's true. We also have that.
That
Oh, and we've
offsets
got
we will
Europe
bury. Holding we will
scoring.
bury. Okay.
It's at 0. We've got missile NV, so we could. What's the? Oh no. Okay, so the DEFCON suicide gambit here is if they event Cuban missile crisis and we missile NV duck and cover from them, which is a bit of a reach. We've got Liberation Theology. That's nice. We could defect whatever headline they have. What's likely? Quagmire, Brezhnev, Brush War, Hunter. These are all realistic.
What's OPEC worth? OPEC's only worth 2.
2 because Israel doesn't count. Yep.
Yeah.
SMV. We got Europe scoring.
Or,
yes.
or there might be brush warring something. I think we defect because I think brush war and a coup could make a real mess of Africa.
It really could. Okay, so defect the headline. The other option is we event We Will Bury You, which means they can't have a coup on Africa. They're reliant on brush war. But we give up 3VP doing that, which is quite expensive.
That's too many at the moment.
Yeah.
Defect. That's the wrong side of war. I think so.
They'll never see defectors coming. Portuguese Empire crumbles. That's good. So now they have to coup on it if they want to do something about it. If they do coup, we need to take South Africa.
Yeah, that's okay.
And the only 3-up card we can do it with safely is OPEC, because obviously the risk of Che is that they flip Uruguay and move into Brazil. So I think if they coup Angola, we take... Here we go. They went Zaire instead. Okay.
Okay.
So do we overprotect Angola and put 2 in South Africa to make sure they can't take either in one go with OPEC? Do we use the China card? I don't really like that personally.
No.
I think OPEC's the best card here, giving up 2 VP. Because the risk of Che is obviously Uruguay. So if we use Che, we have to go 1 Brazil to protect if a successful coup happens in Uruguay. So 1 Brazil, 1 Angola, 1 South Africa, and then they can still take South Africa with a 4-op card. Flower power, nuclear test ban, NATO.
I think that's the other thing is what does missile envy hit?
Duck and cover, DEFCON suicide.
Yeah.
The 4-ops, a nuclear test ban.
Is it unplayable, doesn't it?
Yeah, nuclear test ban, flower power, or NATO. But they would have they could with a 2-op card, didn't they? So
yeah.
So shall we use OPEC, give up 2 VP, and go 1 Angola, 2 South Africa?
Yeah. I think so.
1 Angola, 2 South Africa. We give up 2 VP, but we say you need brush war to get domination now. And that means they're not brushing Italy. Or do we go 1 Angola, 1 South Africa, 1 Greece? Still allowing them 4 ops to take South Africa.
No, I think, yeah.
This is good.
That's all right.
Okay,
yeah, I think so.
I'll commit it because we're now taking longer than now. We're nearly a full minute behind. So there you go. Have 2 VP. You're welcome. So I suspect what they're going to do: brush war, Nigeria or Angola, or Italy. If they don't have brush war, what are they likely to do? Coup Uruguay, which we're fine with because we have time to reply in Brazil. We're looking to, if we can take South Africa and Brazil, kitchen debates becomes eventable again. So we do want to try and press on battlegrounds. Do we want to take Malaysia and Philippines to make Southeast Asia less gross?
Yeah, I think we
And
can
Burma, I guess.
need everything we can get
We
at
do.
the moment,
And we have
don't
to
we?
drop Europe scoring at some point. Europe scoring is
Yeah.
currently 0. It will go to -1 when they play into Poland. So I guess the downside of them brushing Italy is it goes to -2, but doesn't dominate. So dropping Europe scoring before they do something profound in Europe is a must.
Thinking, what does Camp David prevent? That's Arab-Israeli, isn't
Yeah.
it? And that's still in the deck.
It's still in the deck. I mean, on the
Okay.
other
So
hand,
it's not a huge.
it's only an op for them to take. I think what we're looking
Yeah.
to just take Egypt with Sadat and fade Muslim revolution in the late war, right? Because our three
Yeah.
battlegrounds then are Egypt, Iraq, and Saudi because of Iranian hostage crisis. So we're looking moderately even in the Middle East, barely ahead in Asia, equal in Africa, behind in Europe, ahead in Central America, behind in South America. So there's a bit more work we need to do.
Yeah.
You read my
I think-
mind! Yay! Jenny brought biscuits, and she's going to make
Oh,
a cup of
nice.
tea. Thank you, Jenny.
What biscuits?
Oh, we went round her parents on Friday for dinner. Although we're eating in their back garden because we're still not going in their house thanks to COVID. We're doing distancing
Sure.
properly. So we made an Italian meal. So I've got an amaretti and
Oh,
a
very nice.
Florentine. So
Fantastic.
yep, we cook because I eat, and I eat a lot.
I love Amaretti.
Yeah, they've come out pretty good. So that's nice. I'll go get Jenny
That's
to make them
impressive.
again. Jen is the patisserie person. So yeah. My hands are too warm. Pastry and biscuits and stuff I can't make. So they did have a 4-op card. They chose to coup Angola with Camp David.
Maybe they felt it was wasteful.
Yeah. So now we have a moderate problem in that if we don't ops war in South America, we will be realigned on Angola quite heavily. So we either have to use the China card or Che and hope that they don't successfully coup Uruguay.
The thing is, if they do successfully coup Uruguay, then we can always pop one into.
I was just trying to see if I could work out the odds. Let me use Che to work out their odds of getting an influence in. I will not hit execute. They need to roll a 4 or better, so they're 50-50 to then get access in Uruguay to walk into Brazil. But that costs them 3 ops, and we still have time to get into Venezuela. So we shouldn't lose control, should we?
But also, I think we can pop it. We can pop into Brazil straight away if we, if they.
Yeah.
If we event first,
so
then we can respond accordingly.
Oh, I see what you mean. Right, yes, because we don't just need to plough the 3 into South Africa first. Okay, thank you. There's just enough room for a mug here on the pillar. You got it. Thank you very much. Jim is jealous. He likes Amaretti. But I can't feed them into the microphone, so I'll have to have them. They're for me, dog. They're not for you. So we event first, right, and see what the outcome on Uruguay is. And Uruguay is literally their only target.
Yeah, and that doesn't make a huge difference because they've already got Peru.
Yep. So go for it.
Okay.
Okay, it's back on them. I do like this. So they're 50-50, and if it succeeds, we go 1 Brazil, 2 South Africa, and then they need a 3-op card to take South Africa, which they'll probably have. But then we have time to put 2 into Botswana.
Do we go 2 into Botswana straight away?
Oh, to set up our own realigned threat in South Africa. I like it.
And then they'll probably try and coup Botswana then, maybe?
Yeah, in which case we then...
Coup counter coup?
Yeah, well, yeah, coup counter coup. Or we potentially pump South Africa. We may have to use the China card to do that since we can't use We Will Bury You. We'll get to it, I guess. We'll wait and see what the outcome... If the coup fails, we can go 2 Botswana, 1 South Africa to put double pressure on.
Yeah.
So what else are we doing this time? We're looking to space liberation theology.
One other thing that we could do, because like scoreboard pressure, it depends if we think they're holding anything really duff, we could they've not overprotected France. We could pile the China card into France, maybe.
Yeah, making it 3-3. Although we have no way of converting it. They don't know we have no way of converting it. But we do have no way of converting it. So I don't disagree, and they ditched de Gaulle in turn 3, so there's no immediate threat to France. If we do that, we of course instantly dominate, because we'll go 2-1 up on battlegrounds until they put an op in Poland. But it's a very slow conversion. Yeah, it's a very slow conversion for us, right?
I think Poland is too easy to repair.
Yep.
That I think maybe not prodding it and hoping that they then don't overprotect.
Yeah.
Even though that's not very aggressive. Just thinking about Southeast Asia.
We do need to think about it.
Yeah, so Malaysia, Philippines, Burma with the China card, maybe
2, 4, 5. Yeah, that drops it down to 1. It's sad giving up the China card, but it is in response to a scoring card.
1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay, so he does clear out Uruguay, but does not gain more access.
Okay.
And he has no more targets. So do we go Botswana and 1 South Africa, or do we go 2 Botswana, 1 Philippines, or 1 Burma in anticipation of playing more around there?
So I think Brazil and Venezuela don't matter hugely because we've got OAS. So even if they did something hideous like realigning us out, we can still then play back in. So possibly 2 Botswana and then maybe get a VP on the board.
Yeah, or 1 in Greece to protect Italy against brush war. It's either Philippines or Greece, I agree. I feel like if they had Southeast Asia scoring, they'd have done something about it by now. Instead, they've chosen to focus on Africa.
Or it could be another one into South Africa to give us a better chance with of hitting. If we hit a slightly duff rear line.
That's right. We still have enough influence in a buffer. Okay, I like that. Should we go?
Okay.
Done. This may be enough for them to give up on Africa. We hope.
And then what do we do? Hit space straight away? Hit Europe straight away?
Yeah, drop Europe scoring, I guess, because it's not going to get any better. As soon as they put 1 in Poland, they've gained an extra VP. We're not going to do anything besides stopping them spacing 2 cards. And the next time they space a card, they can no longer space 2 op cards. And we still haven't seen Grain or VOA.
We're going to need to hit some mill-ops pretty soon.
And we've got Saharan states, so we could use missile envy to coup Saharan states, and that would also mean they don't get domination if they do something fancy. So, for example, if they fill up South Africa, they'll get domination, so we can then coup Saharan states to deny domination.
Yeah.
And they're as risky realigning Angola as we are realigning South Africa.
Yeah.
So let's see what they do. 2 in South Africa? Yeah. Oh no. Oh, a walk as well. Okay, so do we coup Saharan states knowing that we've got OAS and stuff we can do in South America? This is the unscored region, so I feel like we should focus there.
Yeah.
And now they've played Cultural Revolution, we can use the China card more freely because we know there's 2 cards in the deck that give it back to us and they now don't have 1.
Or do we go realignments on South Africa to try and flip domination?
So the risk is if it fails, they then drop Africa for Dom.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas there's no risk of domination if we coup Saharan states. And this is +1, and that's +0 with a realign in South Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I tell you what. What I'll do is are we going to use a 4 op card to do it?
What? China card?
Yeah. If we use a 4 op card at +1, and we need to remove... How much are we looking to remove? Are we looking to remove enough for us to take control? Or are we just looking to break them?
I don't know.
At +1 with a 4 op card, 68.5% of the time you can remove 5 ops. So we've got a 2/3 chance of nearly controlling South Africa with a 4 op realign. The safer option is just to coup Saharan states, which also gives us mill-ops.
We need the mill-ops. Should we do that because we need the mill-ops?
Yeah, and then we can worry about realigning. Because, of course, if they try realigning Angola, it's +0, whereas South Africa's
Yeah.
+1. Yeah?
Yeah.
We have to use missile envy.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way to guarantee clearing Saharan states. Should we do it? And worry about South Africa later? South America later, sorry? Yeah?
Go for it.
Okay, we flip it. But that's all we do.
So they possibly coup back.
They possibly coup back, and then we decide on either a coup war, which we're now struggling with because we've only got 1 op cards, or we then go for the strong realign. But we've got our mill ops, which is all we were looking to do, and if they roll a 1 here, we've got tempo. Of course they don't roll a 1. So now should we go for the sassy realign on South Africa with China card? That does mean we lose Formosa, but we're more likely to end up 4-2 on Battlegrounds anyway.
Yeah, and there's a chance that they're holding something that will give it straight back to us.
Yeah, Nixon, Yusuri. And if we do really well in South Africa, we flip domination here, because we'll go 4-3 up. So should we go realign on China card?
Yeah, the other thing that we could possibly do is shore up Brazil and poke South Africa.
We'd need to use the China card to do that anyway, and then we'd lose the chance to do realigns, because we've got no more.
Come, go for the realigns.
Well, the other immensely boring option is kitchen debates into Zimbabwe, which levels up Battlegrounds again. The problem with that is when they coup Zimbabwe, and then when we realign South Africa, we don't get domination, because it's 4-all. So I feel like now is the time to realign South Africa if we're going to do it.
Come, let's go high stakes.
Great. Realignment rolls with the China card in South Africa. You ready? Because as soon as I click 1, I can't go back. Yeah?
Yeah, go for it.
They lose 2.
Oh, that's a good start.
Again?
Yeah.
They lose 2. We now have +3.
That gives us an extra 1.
They're out. We now dominate.
Nice.
I assume we now... Well, I assume we now don't take a chance on... Should we just poke Zaire or Uruguay? Uruguay's nice because they then can't walk into Brazil. It's only 17% of the time.
Yeah.
Here, the problem with this is they can walk straight back in because of Angola. So I propose Uruguay, even as less likely, because that sets them back a whole AR, whereas this doesn't. Because
the other thing is there's no difference between, in terms of probability between... Oh, no, there is. Sorry, ignore me. Should we go Uruguay?
I like Uruguay more. I know it's unlikely. Shall we?
Yeah.
No. Okay. It's done.
That gives us a chance to play kitchen debates.
Alright, so what are they now going to do? Start playing into places like Sudan, Cameroon, etc. Oh, they've got brush war, so they're going to go Africa. Please miss. Oh! Alright. Now what are our options? Coup Saharan states. Play
with
1 influence
debates,
into... Yeah, that's very unlikely. 1 into Zimbabwe. That levels it up. 1 into Zimbabwe is 4-all, so they then have to coup again. Or play their own influence, but then we're going to get swiftly forced to play with OAS, which we'd rather use for the event, I guess. Although I suppose the major imperative is Africa right now.
Yeah.
Curses. What do we think? So, shall I show you what the odds of a 1-op coup on Saharan states are, first of all? 50-50. So we can have a 100% chance of denying domination for 1 AR. By playing into Zimbabwe, or a 50% chance of denying domination.
They then coup.
Yeah, and then we have to coup again with OAS.
But the problem with cooing with OAS is it then leaves Brazil completely open and we're running out of ARs.
We are. So do we drop Europe scoring and let them score Africa for Dom?
Either that or coup, hope to get lucky. Because if their next round is probably, if we don't get lucky...
They
they
drop Africa
probably
scoring.
drop Africa, we drop Europe, or we drop OAS.
Yeah.
If we do get lucky, they then have to counter coup. We can't really do a huge amount about that. We
So-
drop. So I think we coup first.
Okay. Gamble, gamble, gamble is not successful. So they now will drop Africa scoring. Well, that was quite the battle for Africa. I felt our
Yeah.
rear lines were glorious, but we were not duly rewarded. So what's likely later in the turn then? They can score Africa Dom and Southeast Asia for 4 VP, and we're starting to look a little ropey.
So
Oh, that's all right.
So my laptop crashed, so I lost my card tracker. So you're gonna have to keep me posted on that.
That's fine. He's just played Allende,
Yeah.
so they don't have Africa scoring after all that. They've just played Allende into Brazil. So do we event OAS and put both in Venezuela
I think so.
to make sure that we don't lose control? Yeah.
Because that's a nasty rear line risk, isn't it?
It is,
If we go into
for
Brazil.
sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Done. Okay. So after all that, we get Brushward. It's a shame. We were fighting well in Africa. And AR7, they're going to do something because we have to drop Europe scoring, by the way, because it's AR7.
Yeah.
They're spacing VOA. And they succeed, so they're now peaking headline as well.
Okay.
We drop Europe scoring for 0. We've got Central America scoring, but we can't headline it. Nuclear subs, which then forces them to drop Africa scoring in the headline. Nuclear subs looks like the best. Although, of course, these one-stab things are hugely protected. 5-year plan to pull something out their hand. We might pull Africa scoring if they don't headline it. Or pull duck and cover. Or junta/junta. What do we think? We can't headline Central America scoring. Although, well, it's only worth 2 VP to start. We can actually, because they don't have any way of... Oh no, they've got junta, potentially.
Yeah.
So they do have a way of interacting in the headline phase. I feel like it's 5-year plan, nuclear subs, Nixon to take the China card back, How I Learned or Sadat. Nixon's kind of boring. Sadat's kind of boring.
Also, Nixon's quite easy to play later as well.
Yeah. So nuclear subs? Nuclear subs basically says I'm going to tear up the board.
Yeah. I think we've got enough. And nuclear subs gives them a way of getting rid of CIA, though, doesn't it?
That is true.
Which is not entirely unlikely that.
So Sadat is bland, but is a 5-op swing. Or How I Learned to drop DEFCON in the headline, and then event nuclear subs AR1.
Or crank it up and realign them out of France. I know scoring's gone, but
so France is only +1 because they've got France and Algeria. We need to retake the UK first. So what are the options?
Well,
we could raise DEFCON to 4, but then of course they get an option of cooing in Asia. I feel like if we drop DEFCON with How I Learned and then event nuclear subs, we've lost an AR, but we've got what? Warsaw, 5-year plan, and Nixon. 3 fairly clean coup options. And it protects Panama. Because they're probably unlikely to play Junta into Panama with a DEFCON dropping headline from us.
So How I Learned gets out ahead of Junta, so it denies the Junta coup, doesn't it?
Yep.
So they're probably putting Junta into Panama?
Yeah, and then flipping it, in which case we can then play into Mexico. Did Fidel go in turn 3? Just double checking. Fidel did not go in turn 3, so Fidel is still live. So we don't want to play into Cuba.
Oh, we haven't seen Quagmire or Bear Trap yet, have we?
We've seen neither, so there's a potential problem there.
Because there's a lot of good stuff that. Well, we can't play 5-year in the headline anyway, actually, because they're peaking.
Yeah. Another reason to play How I Learned, therefore, is to drop DEFCON so that if we're Quagmired, they still don't get a coup.
Yeah. So, and also, they don't know what we're doing with How I Learned. So, yeah, I think How I Learned doesn't give away a huge amount of info.
That's right.
Cool.
Not only doesn't give away a lot of information, but it's the sort of thing we do even if they weren't peaking. We've now spent 6 minutes more than them. Ooh, we're starting to talk more, not less.
And there's 2 of us.
That's
and
right.
3 of them.
What can I say? They must be like, they must be having a hell of an argument. Another reason is that we've just spent 3 minutes in the headline phase while their clock hasn't been running. because they've been peeking on us.
Yeah.
Let me know if the chewing noises are disgusting, and I'll move the mic away.
Is it amaretti?
Yep. Can you tell from the
Excellent.
texture? Another possibility, even though Central America's unscored, is they put 2 into Venezuela with Hunter, because then they can set up the rear lines on Brazil. Although, again,
Yeah.
they're attacking an unscored region, which is attacking a scored region, which is fine for us for tempo. So if we don't get quagmired, depending on what they do AL1, eventing nuclear subs is an option to try and level up Africa. With ABM and Brush gone, by eventing nuclear subs, we're basically saying, come at us. And one nice big coup on Zaire might do the job.
Yeah. My only problem with nuclear subs, and it's a slight personal thing, is I always find myself in a situation where it's so obvious what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
That your opponent ends up like just poking, and I know it's inefficient for them, but like, breaking control of
That's right.
different countries and stuff, and
like West Germany. I mean, that's actually good play by USSR against nuclear subs. You try and create threats.
yeah.
But you're right.
So,
I find it also frustrating. But I think if they're not dropping Africa scoring in the headline, there's literally one way we're denying domination there.
Yeah.
And that's with nuclear subs.
If there's a chance we could try and get Central America away, if they're not playing junta, then we could try and get Central America away first thing.
We could.
What would that get us?
2 VP. So the question is, do we play into Costa Rica to make it 4 VP? What's domination? Is domination a measly 1? It's 2 more VP, yes. So if we play 3 into Costa Rica, it becomes 4. If we spend 5 ops and get into all 3, it's like 7. Oh, they've got a Hunter anyway, so let's see. So we'll drop DEFCON to 2 to deny them at least a coup, yeah?
Yeah.
The other option is DEFCON 5, because they then coup with it, 4, then they take a coup 3, and we take a coup back 2. So 5 or 2 are the only options.
I think 2, because I don't think we've got great ops.
Yep. Agreed.
I lost my card tracker, but they've got stuff like Flower Power still out there, haven't they?
They do indeed. Yep. So DEFCON to 2. Well done. DEFCON. Oh no. DEFCON to 2. Yes, please. Thank you. Okay. Good. And now they hunted, and they're going to go to Panama, having seen they can't coup, and they will convert.
Either that, or they might
go really Venezuela.
Go all out in
South America, yeah.
South America.
If they go to Venezuela, they take it and then set up rear lines. And there's not a lot we can do, but then the gamble for us is, do we spend 5 ops filling up Central America for control? No, we don't.
No.
Gambling on the rear line of Venezuela. And they miss. So I think they're going to spend their turn finishing taking Panama. So the question is, are we eventing nuclear subs because we can then also coup Panama?
I don't think we've got a huge amount to coup it with.
We've got Warsaw, 5-year,
haven't we?
and Nixon. Excuse me, and Nixon.
Yeah, but I don't like cooing a.
And you're right.
Sorry, stab with a 2-op.
Nuclear subs also still means they can play CIA, which, with the score the way it is at least a gambit that they would like to see removed. So okay, I'm convinced we shouldn't event nuclear subs. So they will take Panama.
I don't think that means anything. I think that's just op sufficient.
Indeed. All right. So do we go, knowing we hold Central America and Liberation Theology? Do we finish taking Brazil to level up South America and pop 1 in Zimbabwe to deny domination in Africa briefly? Because we can take Mexico another turn. Let me just show you what that looks like.
Hold up a sec. There's a. Yeah, that's not bad. But also, is there a reason we wouldn't do that with Warsaw, because we haven't seen John Paul yet?
That's right, and we want to use, if we're going to play Warsaw for ops, we want to do it first, so that John Paul can't be removed after the fact. Like it? Like that?
Yeah.
Yep. Done. So worst case scenario, they event Fidel, and we can still take Mexico. Warsaw Pact. What have I put in the hand that I don't have? I've Nixon, Lib, Nuclear. Oh yeah, European scoring went last turn. There we go. Now my hand's the right size. Okay, so yeah, in terms of unseen card, they've got Flower Power, Brezhnev, Quagmire, U2, Willie, Fidel, Cambridge 5, and Lone Gunman outstanding. We've got Yasuri, Bear Trap, Duck and Cover, Grain Sales, John Paul, Panama, NATO, Colonial Rearguards, and CIA. They can't space Grain Sales, John Paul, or Colonial Rearguards unless they now space 2 3-op cards. So we need to get something off to space to try and stop them racing to discard held card.
Yeah, but I also think, given that they can't space and we haven't seen things like grain sales and CIA, I think maybe not nuclear subs.
I agree. Because there's more Defcon Suicide Gambits. I think I'm now sold on not eventing nuclear subs. You don't need to worry about that anymore. You've won me round. Yeah, I think we want to get Liberation Theology off to space sooner rather than later, because we really want to succeed in space to stop them getting to the discard held card.
Yeah, okay. Also, I think Sadat is quite a good one.
Yeah, but we can do that any time in the turn, can't we?
Yeah, but just in terms of when things reshuffle.
Oh, we want to do it this turn for sure.
Yeah.
To maximise our ops for the next reshuffle.
Well, also, I think, it mitigates Muslim Revolution.
Even more so, yeah. Lone Gunman. So they coup Zimbabwe to regain domination. They don't do a great job of it, but they do. So we've got options now. We can space Liberation Theology. We can counter coup Zimbabwe with nuclear subs, guaranteeing to flip it. We can take Mexico in anticipation of at some point having to drop Central America scoring. Those seem to be the 3 obvious options. If we counter coup Zimbabwe and we're successful, they either counter coup again or they just play into Cameroon. Like, it's always easy for them to stay ahead in country count in Africa. The upshot of coupping Zimbabwe is realigns.
There's VPs to be taken. I don't think they've got Southeast Asia because they haven't played for it.
That's right. There's still something we need to do there.
One into Philippines maybe at some point.
Yeah, 2 into Burma, 1 into the Philippines. So yeah, that's another thing we need to do. Cripes. They're keeping the pressure on.
We could steal the China card.
We can steal the China card, and if they have Usuri, it means they have to space it.
So what leaves us with more options? Nuclear subs affects the immediate scoring state of the board, so I think we should probably coup into Zimbabwe and hope that we get a decent coup, and then we've still got the option of stealing the China card later.
Yeah,
what do you reckon?
Sure, let's do that. And yep, that's fine. So now, if they want to stay ahead in Africa, they've got to take Cameroon or Sudan. But by the end of the turn, we have to have played into Mexico to level up Central America. We have to do that fairly soon because we're running out of ARs.
Yeah.
So next turn, what? 5-year plan, 2 into Mexico, 1 into Philippines?
Yeah, or possibly even... Let's have a look. Oh, sorry.
Counter coup, miss. Oh, they just succeed. Alas. Alright, so what are we doing now?
I don't know.
We either counter coup in Africa, which means we're running out of ARs to deal with Central America and Southeast Asia. So what did they do?
How much is Africa worth at the moment?
5? 4.
4.
As is Southeast Asia, and Central America is worth
2. So I think we maybe try and hit Africa again.
Okay, which card? Because Nixon means we can't steal the China card. 5-year means we can't play into Mexico and take Philippines at the same time. And that's really our only option because we all know events are at and the other ones are unplayable.
Because we could use Nixon and then play the China card.
Well, that begs the question why we're queuing Africa, because as soon as we stop queuing Africa, they drop the scorer.
I mean, later on we could play the China card immediately after using Nixon.
So we have to coup with 5-year plan.
Yeah.
In order to do that. Which means we're guaranteed to flip Zimbabwe doing that.
Yeah.
But if we event at Nixon, we then have to use China on Mexico and Southeast Asia. And we get less benefit splitting the China card that way. But then we can't deal with Africa. We just can't do everything. That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
So what do we think? Coup with 5-year plan. If we coup with 5-year plan and event Nixon, we then have to use China in Mexico and Southeast Asia. We've got no option but to do that. So actually, so 3 5-year plan, 4 event Nixon, 5 use the China card, 6 Central America scoring, 7 Sadat.
Yeah.
And if we do that, we can't deviate from that plan once we execute it. Can we? We can't
speed our clock up.
It will. So, but we can't get any more coups off on Africa, so we're conceding domination anyway, to some extent. And if we're doing that, the question is, why don't we just do it now on this AR? There might be a good answer. I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying we can take one more coup, but that's it. And is one going to do the job if all it takes is them to put one op in Cameroon anyway? So if Africa's already a dead duck, do we use our ops more efficiently by going 5-year plan, 2 into Mexico, 1 into Philippines, steal the China card, and then go 2 Malaysia, 2 Burma with it to level up Southeast Asia at least?
Yeah, go on.
I've won you round. So 2 into Mexico, 1 into the Philippines. Then next AR, steal the China card. Or do we steal the China card first?
No, I think it would be nice for me. I think it would be nice to have the opportunity to drop Central. If they have an empty AR or something, it'd be nice to be able to drop Central America straight away.
Cool. So that, which also reduces Southeast Asia briefly, and we give up on Africa for now.
Yep.
Okay. The other reason they were worried about Africa is we can threaten realigns on Zaire, but they can still walk back into Angola. So we need to remove 6 influence if we coup Zimbabwe successfully. And they can play into Cameroon to walk back in. It's just too much to do in Africa, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Executed. We talked that one out.
The Colonial hasn't come out yet, has it?
CRG hasn't, so we can spam Africa. There's 4 1-op battlegrounds, non-battlegrounds left, waiting to be taken.
That's the other thing about not necessarily playing the China card. Is colonial rearguards into Thailand.
Yep, Thailand, Vietnam, for sure, as well. So if they drop
Thailand, and then if we've got the China card, flip it.
We can flip it, yep. Well, I'd expect they'd overprotect. They'd be mad not to, but we'll see. If they drop Africa scoring, do we drop Central America and then steal the China card the turn after?
I think so.
Yep, rather than steal the China card where they drop Africa and then drop Central America.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? They could play Yasuri for 3 ops and take Vietnam and Burma, which they're doing anyway because they've seen us take the Philippines. So Central America scoring, event Nixon to steal the China card, event Sadat or space liberation theology.
If event Nixon, maybe just to put them in. Because I don't think they can really influence Central America, can they?
No. All the interaction cards with Central America are gone.
We haven't seen
Fidel.
Yeah, but that would give them 2 VP, wouldn't it?
That's right. It would give them 2 VP, 1 for battleground, 1 for adjacency. So does that mean we drop Central America now? And worry about the China card the turn after?
I'm just wondering whether because the amount of stuff that we haven't seen, I'm wondering whether we're going to get the China card pretty soon, and whether it might be worth playing Nixon now.
Oh right, it shortens their hand.
Yeah,
maybe meaning they're left with duck and cover, bear trap, Grain, and John Paul. Yeah, okay, we'll take Nixon and gamble they don't have Fidel. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool, excellent. Shorten their hand. And now if they play Yasuri, we could always pump Thailand and break Laos and Indonesia. So we've played Nixon. Just double check, haven't seen any of those. Haven't seen any of those. Haven't seen those. No, no, no. Did see NATO, that's been removed, but everything else is still fine. Alright, I think my hand track is up to date. There's 16 in the draw and 4 in their hand. So I should have 20 cards. 3, 6, 8, 13, 60. Yeah, okay. My track is definitely up to date.
Cool. I think the other good thing about stealing the China card is India. Makes it harder for them to get India, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yep, good call. And now now that Formosa's dead, we do need to take India before they do to try and maintain domination, although they now have all of the one stab Southeast
India
Asia.
and Malaysia.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're only getting 8 if we take Afghanistan or Taiwan with Malaysia.
Yeah.
So it's a big ask now. Asia's more or less level. Although, of course, Shuttle Dip's still in play right now, but it's level-ish for... So they have to trap themselves. That's nice.
Okay.
Overprotect, domination, big domination. But they'll be losing something like grain sales to the trap, won't they?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. So
Central America scoring?
I think so, and then
Sadat? Okay.
Yeah.
Or do we space Libthi now while they're in the trap? Because then they can't try and space 2 cards later on. Hopefully. I think the rest of our turn is... this is sequencing, right? We're spacing that, we're eventing Sadat, and we're scoring Central America. It's just a question of what order we do things. Score first, then space, event Sadat AR7.
If they've got a whole load of junk in their hand that they're trying to get rid of, and they get out of the bear trap first round, then they've possibly still got 2 cards they want to space.
That's right. So space first.
So maybe Lib Theology to space.
Sure. Let's do that. Hooray! NASA did us good. Finally, they've got a card into space. And grain sales is gone. And they're out of the trap in 1. So they'll probably thank us by putting us in the quag. But we've got We Will Bury You we could drop in the quag. So Central America scoring now?
Yep.
And then events at AR7 if we're not quagmired. So what do we like to see here? Duck and cover off to space. Yeah, exactly so. Does it get there? Of course it does. Roscosmos have been absolutely unimpeachable. Events at that. So Southeast Asia is worth 5 VP. We're going into turn 7, and so they're actually able to win with Southeast Asia and Africa on turn 7. So we have a big problem there.
Yeah, they don't have presence in the Middle East at the moment.
They don't. So if we can get that off in the headline, although they, of course, are peaking, let's not forget. All right.
What could they do?
So the crisis is Africa and Southeast Asia, definitely.
Yeah.
But we've got nothing else we can do there. So we got Southeast Asia. We got colonial rearguards, so we can duff up both places. I think we have to headline colonial rearguards to make sure Africa can't be dropped in the headline, yeah?
They must have CIA.
They do have CIA. So the other option
they must
is...
be giving that to us first?
Yeah, but the only way to stop that is We Will Bury You, isn't it? And then that gives them 3 VP, and then this swiftly rolls out of control.
Yeah.
And if we headline We Will Bury You, they headline Africa scoring. So yeah, we can't... I think we just have to accept they're about to give us CIA safely.
Yeah.
So event colonial rearguards?
I think so.
And then we can decide once they headline where we're putting the stuff. Oh boy, right, so colonial rearguards is gone. They're holding... are they definitely holding... Yes, we had a reshuffle. Right. So let's get through all this. They've also got Panama Canal returned. And Yasuri River skirmish. They've also got Cuban Missile Crisis. And One Small Step. Africa scoring. Flower Power, they've got Quagmire. And U2 Incident. And Fidel, that's 10 cards. What have I missed, you mug?
We've got Flower Power.
Oh, okay, great, that's why. So they've got 9 cards and we know all of them. Yasuri, Cuban Missile Crisis, Quagmire, U2 Incident, One Small Step, Fidel, Panama Canal returned, Africa scoring, and CIA created. And
I
what's
mean,
our...
if they wanted to be particularly cruel, they could, instead of trying to get rid of CIA first up, they could quagmire straight away and go for a domination of Africa.
Yep.
Sorry, a control of Africa.
Yep. We can't do anything about that.
No. I think we're rather shafted.
Yeah, it's starting to look dicey, isn't it? I'm not looking at a lot of light in the tunnel. So yes, if they do quagmire us, okay.
Yeah.
So, right, how do we exert the most damage? One in Algeria, and then do we go Laos, Vietnam, Indonesia, or one in Thailand to potentially flip with the China card? One in Thailand, two in Africa. That way we stay as far ahead in Africa as we can for as long as we can, with the potential to flip Thailand as well.
The thing is, they don't need to do. I don't know that the two in Africa do anything.
It means they can't drop it on turn one. That's all it really does.
But could we do that by?
Oh, I see what you mean. The two in the one stabs don't do a lot.
Yeah.
So we could go Thailand, Laos, Indonesia, which makes Southeast Asia a lot less attractive, and they still have to do something in Africa turn one. Yeah? Is that better?
I think so.
Okay, we'll do that.
I think we are somewhat shafted anyway.
Yeah, scraping the barrel. So we will bury you in the trap first. Over
I think so.
Brezhnev flower nuclear test.
Yeah, I think we will bury you. Then I
Okay.
think flower power. I think Willy Brandt's difficult, but
So we get CIA. We know their entire hand, so let's not stop and look at it. It is everything I thought it was and worse. So what are our options? A Hail Mary coup on Zaire. Let's just see. A Hail Mary coup on Zaire, we need a 6.
The other thing
is... Or 1 in these places. But if we don't do the coup on Zaire, they just put 1 into Algeria and regain domination to drop the card next turn. What else?
I'm just thinking about cooing one of the. Actually, no, because then they'll just wallop us with.
If we coup one of the one stabs, they can still just put 1 up in Algeria, and they outnumber us.
Yeah.
So it's Zaire or bust, I think.
Go on.
Now's the time to roll the 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it.
6. No, a 4. Good, but not the right one. So they go into Algeria and get domination, and we try and get out the trap. Yeah?
Yeah.
I think we're probably toast. We need to get out the trap. They drop Africa scoring. We flip Thailand to make sure that they don't go over the top. And they've still got U2 incident for 1 VP. So if they can get to 19, they win.
Just looking at kind of slightly left field plays. Nuclear test pan gives us VPs, doesn't it?
Not a DEFCON 2?
Oh, no, it doesn't.
Yep. It's 1, 2, or 3 at 3, 4, or 5. So 1 into Algeria, domination, yep, fine. So the first job is to get out of the trap. We will bury you?
Yep, go for it.
I managed to do that at least.
Okay.
So if they drop Africa scoring, we flip Thailand. If they don't drop Africa scoring, we flip Zaire. So they think they have to drop Africa scoring because Zaire is so flippable. Or they spend 2 ops covering Zaire and Thailand, in which case we take Laos and Indonesia. They've only got 3 op cards, Cuban Missile and U2 Incident. So the worst thing they can do is put 1 in Zaire, 1 in Thailand, and 1 in Laos. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, I guess we take Malaysia and Indonesia just to try and make sure they can't get to 20. But it looks like we're looking to event John Paul, tear down this wall, and get Europe control while fading war games. Yep, so... Okay, should we flip Thailand?
I think so, Yeah.
If they've got brush war, then we're definitely losing, but can't control that. So that means that we're now level in Southeast Asia. Yes.
Yeah, although they're going to go
Malaysia,
ahead on.
Indonesia, yeah,
Right.
and they can drop Africa. But it can't be helped, right? That's definitely our move. Yeah,
I think so. That's a 4-point swing,
it is.
whereas
There's no 4-point swing in Africa.
oh no, we'd get realigned out.
We'd absolutely get realigned out of
But
Algeria, yeah, no doubt.
yeah,
Should we do this? I think this is best.
yeah, go on.
And we're not going to get another chance to do it. We don't take Thailand this turn, they'll overprotect.
Yeah. Go for it.
Okie doke. And now, of course, it means they have to space Yasuri. Right? They can't
Yeah.
play Yasuri without giving the China card back immediately, face up. So I think they'll drop Africa scoring. So the question is, do we spend 3 ops taking Indonesia and Malaysia? Or 4 ops to overprotect Indonesia, which then gives us 2 VP back? I feel like that's 2 ops well spent.
I think so.
Yep,
no,
they're doing it.
playing into.
Okay. So they're now +2.
Okay.
Do we spend 4 ops flipping Lao Cambodia, which then levels it up again and protects Thailand better against a brush war?
Yeah, I think so. I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then if they don't cover Indonesia, we could do it again with flower power, potentially?
Yeah. Yeah, flower power cost us the game last time, but never mind.
That's true, it did, yeah. So U2 went. They now can't use U2 for a VP, at least. And of course, we're 1 VP ahead on Milops at the moment. So our AR7 is Event John Paul. Oh no, our AR7's Brezhnev, right? Or are we holding Brezhnev to the turn after? Space Willy? Because it breaks West Germany and gives them a VP?
I think so, yeah.
So what do we like? 4 flower power to flip Indonesia and gain 2 VP. Space Willy. Cambridge 5 after Southeast Asia scoring. Event John Paul, hold Brezhnev? Possibly. I think we want to event John Paul this turn in case we can snag Chernobyl in turn 8.
Yeah.
So we can immediately try and get Europe control. Although they'll overprotect France like a crazy person. Which would be the sensible thing to do. There's only so much we can do. We need Chernobyl and tear down this wall, really.
I think that brush war really hurt.
Yep. I think that was the thing, right? Africa's been behind.
Thing is, it's not. If we can squeak through, it's not a ridiculously bad board state.
I know. Well, it's fairly easy to flip. That's the thing. So Africa scoring drops now. Do we spend 4 ops flipping Indonesia to make it 13 rather than 15?
I think so.
Do we flip Vietnam? Sorry, because Vietnam revolts hasn't been removed, has it?
They didn't play it.
No,
when they could have played it.
That's right. So it's not been removed, and we've not used it. So there's a risk with Vietnam, but it does mean brush war's better. Well, the thing is that doing that means if they event Vietnam revolts, they don't immediately take it, and it still protects Thailand against brush war. Although Thailand's still flippable, mind. We need to put an op in Thailand at some point. So Indonesia is safer in inverted commas because it won't cost an op to repair, unlike Vietnam will. So at the end of the turn, we need to remember to put one in Thailand as well.
Yeah.
Whew, lots to remember. Should we do that?
Yeah, I think so.
And then what are they going to do? Keep tapping Thailand?
Possibly.
For the rest of the turn?
Which is difficult because that gives us
That's
back.
right. They can only use one small step and Fidel to tap. And we've got lots of responses, I guess. Although
or do we
overprotect? Oh yeah, sorry, right. They can't use Yasuri to flip Indonesia back, so we don't need to overprotect it. That's fine, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah? That's the thing we didn't see. That better?
Yeah, or even do we go somewhere else with that one op?
I think we want to cover Thailand, because they'll just keep nudging Thailand.
But they don't have anything to do it with, do they?
They've got we need to overprotect it, otherwise they can use Fidel or one small step to do it. By doing that, there's nothing they can do.
Sure. Okay, we'll do that. At some point, it might be worth poking one into Europe because NATO's active, and if we're desperate for VPs, one into UK.
for sure. I'm thinking we need to event John Paul. The thing is, by doing this, we can drop Southeast Asia scoring and then use Cambridge 5 to fill UK. So I think the rest of the turn is something like do this, drop Southeast Asia scoring, event John Paul, use Cambridge 5 and Brezhnev for ops, hold Willie.
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright, cool. But this is good for now, yeah?
That's not a terrible hold card, is it?
No. The alternative is hold Brezhnev and use it the next day, R7, but that seems like a whole turn away.
Yeah.
Right.
Odds on us actually getting there.
That's right. We should get there, right? We know their entire hand and we know there's no way for them to get to 20 this turn. But next turn we're there. The question is just when will they get dealt war games? Or, well, war games is the only thing that will put them over the top. We're ahead in the Middle East. We're ahead dish in Asia. They space Isuri. And now they can discard a held card. Okay. So there's no risk of them DEFCON suiciding it. I think Europe control is our only way to win here.
Okay,
Southeast Asia? Or do we...
Yep.
Yeah, because we can't use Cambridge 5 first.
I think, Southeast Asia.
And then fill UK ASAP.
Yeah. But I'm not sure. I mean, I think we need a few lucky draws.
We definitely do. We need to fade war games.
If Asia and Middle East come out, then scoreboard should be about level.
Yeah.
We just need our scoring cards to come out.
And flip Africa before turn 10. Yeah, you're right. There's a way back, but I still think Europe control's probably the likeliest. So what are we doing next? Next, Cambridge 5 take UK. AR6 event John Paul. Who cares if you repair it? AR7 Brezhnev.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so. Yeah.
The alternative, is AR6 Brezhnev, giving them another op, but not letting them know they're going to get hit with John Paul. Although they know they're going to get hit with John Paul because they know we're holding it. If they've been tracking cards, they know we've got John Paul. So I suppose there's no advantage to trying to spring it on them, is there? We assume that they're thinking players, and that a thinking player knows we're going to event John Paul, not use it for ops.
I think we need to event John Paul. I think, need to do the high risk reward kind of thing at this point. What do you reckon?
Beg pardon?
What do you reckon on that one?
What's this? What are we doing?
They put 3 into Cuba with Fidel.
They did, yep.
So there's a possibility of a realignment, or are we going to fill up UK as planned?
I think the gambit in Europe is better in the long run, isn't it?
Okay.
So Cambridge 5, 1 into UK.
Yeah. Possibly 1 into India, maybe.
Yeah, because they've now got the China card, and we need to make sure we stay ahead there. And we can use another op with Brezhnev later on in AR7 to finish taking India. Okay, so they've got 1 small step, and Panama can now returned. They can use the 1 clean op for Panama, because they've overprotected. So they've got 3 ops. Oh, no, wait, sorry, it's AR7. Crap. How did it become AR7?
We played the China card?
Shit. I was thinking we'd get rid of 2 of these cards, sorry. So now what do we want to do? Do we want to event John Paul AR7, or do we want to use Brezhnev AR7 and make sure we... Sorry about that. That's... it could be worse what we've got.
So, is there some way that we can... I think maybe John Paul still.
Event John Paul, because they still need to use 5 ops to take India with the China card, and while shuttle diplomacy is in play, we still dominate. It's only when shuttle diplomacy drops that we don't dominate.
It also gives them a question about do
Using
they
the
kill or
China
do they
card.
repair?
Yeah, okay. And they're going to discard Panama with their discard held card. So use Brezhnev. No, sorry, event John Paul. Yeah?
Event John Paul, yeah.
Oh yes, that's right, because next turn they have to choose between the coup or taking Poland.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. I like John Paul. It's a
Cool.
it's a sensible AR7.
I thought we were going for aggressive rather than sensible.
I know, right? But as soon as you start to lose ground on the
Into a
board,
corner.
sensibility prevails. We don't get any 4-op cards. That's handy. So duck and cover isn't playable while they're peeking because they can just play Cal to kill us. Ask not to ditch every red card.
Yeah.
Although we hold
do.
Brezhnev for AR7, right? Because it's effectively 3 free ops at the end of the turn.
Yeah. Or kitchen debates to stop like a
2, 3,
domination somewhere, putting them over the top?
3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4. Yeah, there's even if they flip something in the headline, kitchen debates still scores for us. Although it just means we've lost tempo, not ditching a load of stuff with our snot. But kitchen debates is at least a step in the right direction.
We're behind,
Mm-hmm.
so we kind of need to roll the dice a bit.
Yep.
And our snot does that more than anything else.
It does.
So Willy Brandt, Marine Barracks, Shay, Yuri and Samantha.
Maybe even lads, because a
Lads.
neutral 2-op card isn't great. But we hold
Yeah.
kitchen debates because we want 2 VP.
Yeah, possibly. And all,
1-op for 2 VP is a nice trade.
wondering about Brezhnev, like whether
That's true. Late war cards are mostly American and mostly powerful, right?
just to increase our chance of
Yep.
pulling Middle East or Asia,
Yep,
because
yep,
those are the ones that we really need.
This is true. Yeah. I agree, we're at that point in the game. Marine Barracks. Okay, should we event
And you
our
don't-
snot? And it also gives
Yeah,
away
I
no
think-
information.
Yeah, I think so.
And if he plays
Other than
Aldrich, he's taking out of our new hand.
Yeah.
Alright, we're our snotting, and we're ditching Che, Brezhnev, Marine, Lads, Willy, Yuri. And we're keeping Duck and Cover and Kitchen debates. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And hiding from war games.
Indo-Pakistani War is a 1 in 3. We'll just have to eat it. But that signals they might be worried about Asia scoring, right?
Yep.
Lads, Brezhnev. And we keep these 2. Happy?
Yeah, I think so.
Commit. Ugh, South America. Terrorism, Aldrich, Libthi. Okay.
Well,
Terrorizing them's a bonus.
So Aldrich in South America isn't bad.
That's true. Ugh! That's gross. Okay.
Is that going to be a good game? They got something they can drop for? No, they haven't.
There's nothing they can drop for 5 VP, but they can use the China card to take India. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, we're still ahead with shuttle diplomacy in play. So you're right, we can finish the turn with Aldrich. Kitchen debates is now not playable because we've been flipped. That's good.
What did they roll, just for the sake of regret? Should we have India?
They rolled a 6. Wouldn't have mattered.
Wouldn't have mattered.
So let's see what they do. So they can't currently stop Asia domination with shuttle diplomacy in play.
Could they not pile into? No, that doesn't do it, does it? With the China card into India.
They can take India with the China card, but
it doesn't.
With shuttle diplomacy in play, we're still 3-2
Yeah.
on battlegrounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so we still dominate if they do that. The problem is, do we drop DEFCON? Oh, actually, they've got a win. Space the 3 VP card 50-50 is a win. It's a risky win, but it's still a win condition they have right now.
Yeah, we haven't got a brilliant hand there, have we?
Okay. Another ludicrous gambit for us would be
5-year plan.
Yeah, 5-year plan plus terrorism while they're holding the China card means if they're holding grain sales and Cal and tear down this wall, we can end play them. It's a ridiculous possibility. Of course, 5-year plan could pull Cal, which DEFCON suicides anyway, and DEFCON 3, so they have a way of managing DEFCON right now. They've gone for a coup, and now we're definitely Aldriching away South America.
Yeah.
And if they've got war games, they win automatically anyway. So do we infill India?
I think maybe terrorism them
in
now.
the hopes of pulling war games.
Well,
or do we 5-year plan them before we terrorism them? Because there's more chance of us pulling an American card with 5-year plan the shorter their hand gets, because they're less likely to play American cards. So do we 5-year plan them? and then
Go on.
possibly terrorize them later.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
And
that
if
makes
we
sense.
pull Cal, we blow up the world.
Yeah.
De Gaulle. That's nice. So if they've got war games, they win. But if they don't play war games, do we still terrorize them as well? On the basis that we're shortening their hand? Ooh, 19.
Oh,
So now any VP, we can't score VP on the race. We can't reply to that. So if they've got a VP, they win.
terrorism to.
Yep. Cut another hand. North Sea oil. Oh well. So if they've got any VP scoring card, the jig is up.
Have they still got U2?
No. They ditched that in turn 7. But they've got Glasnost, Pershing.
So they can't have one that.
Oh, and they failed in space. Woo.
Okay, so do we think they might have Asia then?
So now we start pressing hard in there.
And maybe try and get something out of Middle East. So it could be 1 into India, 2 into Saudi Arabia.
I like it. Pressure the unscored regions.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if we can survive another turn. We need to space the Reformer.
Hold Liberation.
Well, we can't hold Liberation
that.
Theology, can we? So do we put 1 in Mexico to cover Liberation Theology? Because they're going to get domination in Central America. I think we have to play Liberation Theology whether we like it or not, don't we? But should we do that as late as possible?
Yeah, I think so.
For now, Asia and Middle East?
Yeah.
Okay. Done. Eastern European unrest went, and we've just used duck and cover. And we've got 5 cards because I've used terrorism. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we need to coup this turn as well. Otherwise, they win on Millops. But we can use Aldrich for that. Yeah, I know you can use Star Wars because your space people are better than ours. Europe scoring now wins for them.
Yeah.
I think there's just too much for us to do, of course. Do we space the Reformer?
I poke Europe with Liberation Theology maybe first, or
we give up control of Central America doing that.
Okay, go on, space the Reformer.
But Central America was a win con for them already, so they're not holding Central America.
Yeah.
Which means tapping Europe,
yeah?
Yeah. Tap Europe?
Yeah.
Tap France or Poland?
Yeah, I think so. France.
Well, Poland is solidarity.
That's true.
The more we put in Poland, the better, yeah? So, yeah, that good? And we're basically giving up Central America now because we're saying that Europe controls the only way we're going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Although, of course, they can repair Poland immediately, and we then can't fix it because of the Reformer, which we have to space. And kitchen debates.
Hope that they haven't got Europe.
Yeah. But we're hoping they don't have a lot of stuff. And so far we've done all right. They haven't had War Games, Glasnost, Central America scoring, Pershing, OPEC, Summit potentially, I suppose, scores points. So yeah, there's lots of cards we have faded, and we should be happy about that. We've won the battle of please don't have all of these cards. And of course, it's AR4, 5, 6, 7. So if they are holding Cal, tear down this wall, grain sales, then we're actually going to win on DEFCON, which would be insane.
Think positive.
Yeah. I always think positive. I always think about the ways I can win, not the many ways I can lose. So yeah, we may be in a great shape there. I think the reason they don't have that is that they spaced Eastern European unrest for one, not Cal, and they couped when DEFCON was 3 in the first AR. So I think the odds of them having a DEFCON suicide card are very unlikely.
Yeah.
But you never know, do you? Alright, we've gained a VP, so now Europe is, in inverted commas, safe. Right? So now we space the Reformer, yeah?
Yeah.
Space the Reformer?
I think so, yeah. I mean, we're so shafted in
everywhere.
Central America that it doesn't matter.
In retrospect, we should have ditched kitchen debates because there were so many ways that they could deny the 2VP very early on. So that was
I think it was either a good headline or not going to be played in retrospect.
We'll tease that out next time. Be more aggressive in our Ask Not discards. So,
discard everything.
AR6, do we coup Guatemala with kitchen debates to set up a real line in Mexico with Aldrich, giving up 1 VP in Millops?
I'm not sure we can.
No, we can't give up
one
any.
VP?
Right, so we have to coup with Aldrich at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
Okay? So what are we doing with an op? Oh, there's Solidarność. We probably put it in Poland. Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
So 1 op in Poland with kitchen debates. And then AR7 Aldrich we have to coup. We'll coup Guatemala, yeah?
So he's playing China card now, isn't he?
They have to
So
play the
does
China card or pass. They
Yeah.
may choose to pass, although they can discard a held card, so...
Does that give us anything left out? If we're holding the China card, they haven't played Cultural Revolution yet, have they?
They haven't, so they can steal it back.
But I'm just thinking if
I think they'll pass the turn, because they know we have to coup to not lose the game. So they know there's no pressure to take Poland back with the China card.
That's true.
And Yasuri went last turn, yeah? Yeah. So they also know there's no way of us wresting the China card off them. So I think they just pass the turn here. Oh, shut my mouth. What a terrible pundit I am. Okay.
Yeah.
So we coup,
Right,
which we have to
coup.
do. Give up Central America, South America scoring. So I think the only way we're winning now is Europe control.
Yeah.
And I think that's unlikely. And coup Guatemala, yeah?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything better.
No. It means that we can set up a realign on Mexico better.
Right.
Much better. Middle East scoring is good for us, but they're still peaking. Cal is great for us. Cal means that we drop DEFCON to... Although actually, of course, if they've got war games... If we headline Cal, they headline war games and win.
But Grain Sales could pull War Games.
It could. So Grain Sales is the must headline, yeah?
I think so.
Okay.
I think we're still playing to avoid War Games. I know it's a long way back, but...
They also can't headline Central America. Oh, no, they can. Even if we coup Mexico, they get 2 VP. So if they've got Central America scoring, they win in the headline here.
Is there anything that can cause them to DEFCON suicide left in the deck?
Tear down this wall. And that's about it.
So I mean, that's still, it's not a huge amount.
They can space it.
Open.
They can space it, mind.
Oh, can they?
Yeah.
So the one downside of watching your stream is I can't click through my memories of which is a 3-op and which is a 2-op isn't always brilliant.
You can always ask, or we could always get you streaming next time. Socialist governments, that's not good, obviously. They can't.
Europe? No.
So OPEC, if we play, we give up 1 VP.
Can play it for space.
Yeah, but then they get a coup. Although if we're dropping DEFCON... Yeah. I mean, we're so toast that this is not a complex decision. Do we just space it? Because if we coup with it, they win with War Games, or play any other 2 VP and win anyway. Or do we coup... If we coup Mexico, they still win by dropping Central America scoring. If we play OPEC, they get a VP anyway, right? So they just need 1 VP then. So I think we have to space.
I think we space it, and then if we get an AR, then we get Middle East away, maybe.
Yeah. That's right. If they don't play 2 VPs here, so Europe scoring, Central America scoring, Glasnost, all win for them right now. Olympic Games, we have to decline, and then they get to play 4 ops. So I think we're badly up against it, if we didn't already know that. And if they space, of course, so space is another gambit. So Central America, Glasnost, space, blah, blah, blah. They didn't have any of them. Amazing.
Well, you don't reckon that's...
well, it could be a War Games thing,
coming.
but we've got to play Middle East scoring and response, don't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Do we? Yeah. Or if 2, 3, yeah. That doesn't take it below War Games, but at least it means other gambits to win are removed. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Central America scoring. Oh, well, we know they don't. Again, we know they don't have. War Games is now the only way we can win and lose. Actually, so the way we beat War Games is by salting something to raise DEFCON briefly.
Yeah. Grain sales again.
Yeah, good call. Salt grain sales.
Yeah.
Because that keeps War Games out of reach. Sorry, I've not been tracking independent
no,
reds.
connect the space race.
Yeah, sorry.
Do they-
What I mean is salt's the only way of not losing next AR. Yeah.
But what's their space race?
3 ops, 4 VP. You're right. Sorry. So that's their 1 gambit next
So
turn.
50-50 on that. Is it 50-50 now at that point?
It is 50-50 to space, and they're probably about, once we've counted up all the cards, 50-50 to be holding War Games. Close to it.
What do you reckon?
I feel like... Alright, so I feel like they thought their best option there was to drop DEFCON rather than to space, right?
Yeah.
So that leans towards them holding War Games rather than saying, well, we'll take a space to win, and then we can drop DEFCON later in the turn if we need to make them worry about War Games. So it's leaning towards them holding War Games, yeah?
Salt, grain sales.
Yeah.
Try and steal War Games.
Yeah, sounds good. I think that's the option, right? Salt and grain sales.
Think so.
Okay. I mean, I feel gross doing this, but we don't have Chernobyl, so it's not like we can. Yeah, I've done it.
This is really limping towards a conclusion, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like the guy in the Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh, the Black Knight.
The Black Knight.
It's only a flesh wound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. So they'll coup to drop DEFCON. We use grain sales to try and steal another card off them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got the China card. Event grain sales?
Yep.
Oh, tear down this wall. So, time for some Hail Mary realigns on France rather than dropping DEFCON?
Yeah, I think so.
Because we don't want to drop DEFCON until we absolutely have to, yeah?
Yeah.
So the realignment on France is +0, because we haven't fixed the UK. It's -2 on Easter. Oh man, tear down this wall odds are awful. Do we coup with tear down this wall? No, because then we give up War Games. I think we just have to do the +0 realigns on France, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, of course, do we give it back to them because it's a DEFCON suicide card?
Give it... Oh.
Right? If we give it back to them...
Is it? Because they can space.
Oh yeah, they can space. And that's the last DEFCON suicide card, isn't it? Yeah, crap. Okay.
I mean, I think the only way we win this is we get Chernobyl. So, I think
event. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. What do you reckon?
Event and put Europe in as much trouble as we can put it in the hopes of getting Chernobyl turn 10. You're right, and they've got so many ways to win, including War Games at this point. So realign on France.
Yeah.
At 0. Yeah. 1. No. 2. They lost 1. Bonus.
Roll better.
There you go.
There you go.
You just
need a pep talk.
I absolutely needed that pep talk. That did everything. So they're going to coup, and we say, okay, very well. We use 4 ops to go into France and pressure East Germany. At some point we play Middle East scoring, at which point we could actually play Muslim Revolution and give up on the Middle East and go all in on Europe, yeah?
Yeah.
We just start sinking all of our ops into... Although, of course, we can UN intervention something.
No, I think we need to UN intervention
decol. We do, because we can't space 2 op cards. Anyway, they're going to... What's going to happen is they're going to coup, we're going to do stuff in Europe, they're going to play War Games, but at least we've tried. This is where we find out War Games is still in the deck.
Okay.
Come on, show us War Games. They did not. We still discard all these nasty cards.
Yeah.
Summit is a VP condition, so we lose that. We keep nuclear subs, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
It doesn't mean a lot to us. So they played Emit, and we discarded Summit, Glasnost,
Yeah.
Pershing, and Portuguese.
I think Middle East to take them below the space threshold.
Option. Yep. Yep. And now if they've got war games, the game is over.
Yeah.
But we did hold them for as long as we could. And if they don't play it,
So if they're still
there
thinking.
we go. GG. Yep.
Okay.
Oh well done. Made the effort. That's true. They faded 3 different discards, didn't they? They held war games through 5-year plan and 2 grain sales. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh well, what more can we do? Look at that!
Oh, there you
Look at that! Oh, crushed! The good news is that when the World Cup really kicks off, everyone will think we're idiots and we'll smash them. Okay. Well, that was that. I think we were behind for some time.
Yeah. That's a funny one because a bit like the last game, actually, I felt like we were slightly ahead of the game at the end of the early war.
That's right. And it all came unravelled. Yeah, the brush war in Africa was the defining point of the game, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about that. Africa only scored once in the end, didn't it?
It did, but obviously that's the difference between domination to us and domination to them, which is war games. So
I was just thinking rather that because we like, there's always stuff that we could have done differently, but they in the mid war they had junta, brush war. We had ABM. They managed to get rid of VOA.
they did. Right, I'll get this uploaded to YouTube, and we can have people pull us apart. But that's the only way we'll learn.
Yeah, I'll look back through it. Look forward to it.
All right, well, so there's 20 minutes left on the feed, so we can always hop into Twitch and talk to people as they watch the last 20 minutes again. But I'll stop recording now. Woof, 3 hours, just under 3 hours. Good fun, though. A pleasure.
So actually, in the end, that was closer to 90 minutes.
90 minutes per side, yeah. We went slightly over and they went slightly under.
Yeah, but I think that was a bit close because we
were 2 hours last time, weren't we? Nearly 2 hours, yeah.
Well, I think we were I think it was 90 minutes last time.
Okay.
A fraction over, but it was a turn earlier.
Yeah. Okay,
or like
so
2 turns earlier.
We can
maybe.
probably push to a 90-minute game then, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
That's good to know. That's all right, since some one-headed people play in 90 minutes. Right, I'll stop recording there, and we can wound up for the time being. I'll hop onto the Twitch feed and talk to people as they watch the last bit, but I won't force you to do that. All right.
Come and have a look.
Cool. I'll stop recording and we'll stop streaming, so say goodbye to everyone at least, and then you can go and say hello to everyone.
Goodbye.
All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, and that is me